And we are live. Good evening, everyone. For the past 2 days, we have been speaking about the virus and the potential that it's going to have as far as taking us into a recession. We've spoken about the recent stock market crash, the market overall. The Dow is down close to 2,000 points. Today, we didn't see a lot of selling in the market. I just received some breaking news. It says the CDC confirms first possible community spread coronavirus case in the US. We're also going to speak briefly about what this is going to do to the supply chains, the further impact that it's going to have on the markets. Also, it's been brought to my attention that another man is alleging that Brother Polight has scammed him. If you have come to watch that part of the video, we're not going to get into that until around the 15-20 minute mark. So again, if you only came for the drama, come back around the 15-20 minute mark and we'll get into what happened to this man and what he's alleging that Brother Polight has done to him. As you come in, please like the video, share the video. It helps the content get out there and it helps it rank in the search engines. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if you want to be notified every single time I go live or I upload a video, join my mailing list. And this way I can email you even if you aren't receiving my notifications when I go live and when I post videos. Also, if you want to contact me, as Andre Boyce did earlier today, me and him had a pretty good conversation. He sent me some of this information about Polight and the young man who was allegedly scammed out of $3,500. So if you want to contact me, simply follow me on Instagram and you can DM me, and that way I'll be able to respond to you when you have any questions or any information you need from me. Also, if you want to support the stream financially, my PayPal link is in the description below. And I want to shout out everyone who's donated over the past few days via PayPal. Thank you, Darren, Sheldon, Kimberly, Tinga, Marvin, Joseph, and Elizabeth. Thank you for the donations. It definitely helps because a lot of this content, YouTube simply doesn't monetize this type of content. So let's look at the markets overall. We can see the crypto market is selling off heavy, and we're going to get into that in a second as to why the crypto market is selling off. But you can see Bitcoin currently is sitting at $8,689 per coin. Ethereum is sitting at $218 per coin. Or XRP is sitting at 22 cents. So we can see Ethereum's off 9%, Bitcoin's off 5%. We look at Litecoin. Litecoin's at $60 per coin. Binance tokens at $18 and Tezos is at $2.79. Let's look at the broad indices. We can see that the S&P was down 11 points. The Dow was down 123 points, and the Nikkei was down 414 points. So again, the selling wasn't that bad today, but if you add the past 3 days, we're definitely down. I think over 2,000 points now. I think we're probably at like 2,020 points. So we've seen a significant drop. We're down about 7% overall from the all-time highs on the market. So people are trying to digest what the coronavirus is actually going to do to not just the U.S. stock market, the U.S. economy, the U.S. manufacturing bases, but the global economy. Because as I've been saying before, China is the second largest economy in the world. They make up 20%, almost 20% of global GDP. So let's look at the S&P. We can see for the past 3 days, we gapped down. This was on Monday, and we just seen sustained selling. So we're seeing a lot of selling coming into the market. Let's look at what's going on with silver. Silver right now on the week, it's at $17.95 per ounce. And let's look at gold. Gold got a little bit of a bid today. Let's zoom in. We're at $1,650 per ounce. So I want to get into what's happening with Bitcoin real quick. I want to play a video for you. And again, if you came to watch what's going on with Polight, we're going to speak about that around the 15-20 minute mark. So I put up a post today in the community tab and I said, be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy. Smart investors understand that you want to buy when people are panicking, but you don't want to just rush in. You want to make sure that you're getting in at a good price. I posted, the smart investors are buying the dips and dollar cost averaging on down days. I allocate money on red days towards investments that I like. Remember, bulls can make money, bears can make money, while pigs will get slaughtered. Now, what exactly do I mean by that? This is very simple. This isn't complicated. I'm going to pull up my calculator real quick and just show you what do I mean by dollar cost averaging. So let me flip over to my iPad real quick. Let's flip this over. So this is the calculator, right? Let's say you buy one unit at 10, right? The market comes crashing down 50%. So it crashes from 10 down to 5. You buy another unit at 5. That means now you own 2. It doesn't matter if this is a stock, if this is gold, if this is a cryptocurrency, right? It doesn't matter what asset you're investing in. We're just simply showing you how to dollar cost average, right? So I'm buying on red days. I'm not going all in at one time, right? So I buy one at 10, I buy one at 5. Right, let's go plus 5, right? That means total, I have 15. I own 2, so I divide by 2. My average price now is 7.5. So rather than me being down 50%, if I average in, now I'm only down 25%. This is what smart investors do. So when I'm investing in these cryptocurrency projects, I'm holding these investments for the next 3 to 5 years because I believe in the long term, Bitcoin is going to go well above $100,000. I believe long term, Ethereum is going to be much higher than $3,000 than $4,000. So on days where it's red, remember, I've been buying these coins going back to when Bitcoin was around $700, $800 as far as this latest bull run. I mean, I've been involved in crypto back when it was at pennies, but we're not talking about that now. I'm talking about the recent allocation that I've been doing over the past 4 years. I have positions in Bitcoin back at $700, right? So I've been buying things on the dips. So this is what you have to be thinking about, is buying things on the dip and not being a person that's fearful, right? Understanding why you're buying something. Now, if you don't know, and this ties into Brother Polight, right? If you're giving a man money for real estate, then you need to make sure that this man understands and knows what he's talking about when it comes to real estate. If you're investing in someone because they're teaching you about cryptocurrency, then you need to verify that these people know what they're doing and they're competent, right? They have some level of competency when they're trying to educate you, not because they can throw out a whole bunch of fancy words and slick words at you. No, they need to be able to show you, what real estate do you own? What real estate projects are you invested in? What crypto projects are you invested in? When you come to my channel and I talk to you about investing in gold and silver, I show you that I own gold and silver, right? I'm not selling you something that I personally don't have, right? When I talk to you about cryptocurrency, I show you my nano ledgers. I'm talking to you about the technology because I have my own money in it. So I'm not selling you something that I personally don't have money in either. I have skin in the game. That's extremely important. Now, a lot of people, they love to talk about, well, Bitcoin doesn't produce anything, right? It doesn't have any value because it doesn't make anything. Well, you can trade currencies. There's something known as Forex, right? Bitcoin is an ecosystem. Cryptocurrency is an entire ecosystem. It has different use cases for different purposes, right? If you're someone in a third world country like Venezuela and you're experiencing 10 million% inflation, you want to be putting your money into something that's stable to transact because your currency isn't stable. Now, if you're someone here in the States, you're using it to speculate. But right here, I'm looking at the euro versus the dollar. Right now, the euro versus the dollar doesn't produce anything. It's just a currency. And I can trade it. I can buy the euro or I can sell the euro. Well, if I sold euros and brought dollars from 2018, it's down over 1,500 pips. Right? So does that mean that it has no purpose? It's speculation. Everything is speculation. When you buy Tesla, you're speculating that the Tesla is going to one day turn a profit, but you're also speculating on the price. When you buy Apple, it's speculation. Now, some people who are investing, they also invest for dividends, and that's why you have real estate. Real estate speculation as well. Now, I just want to put that out there. So I want to play something for you. I want to play a clip for you. And also, let's look at the corona cases real quick because we're about to get into that in a second as well. As of today, this is really important that you pay attention to this. We're starting to see the spread come down as far as in China is concerned. They're saying new cases is starting to come down. But remember, you can't believe anything that comes out of China. China is a dictatorship. It is a communist country. So when I look at these cases and it says that there's 78,000 cases, 78,497 cases, 2,744 deaths, I don't believe any of these things at all. I believe zero. I believe the number in China is probably double this, and I believe the deaths are much higher. But if we take this at face value, total new cases worldwide is 82,184 cases. Total deaths is 2,801. So again, pay attention to this information. We're starting to see cases now over in California. We're going to get to that in a second. This information literally just was breaking information probably like around like 8:45 p.m. right before I went live. So these are the current numbers we can see in Japan. There's 189 cases, 3 deaths. Where was Iran? Because that's what really sparked the market to start selling off when we seen South Korea, Iran, and Italy start announcing that they have cases, they have spread, and they have people dying. So in Italy, we have 470 cases, we have 12 deaths. In Iran, we have 139 cases, and we have 19 deaths. Again, I don't believe any of these numbers that are coming out of Iran, and I definitely don't believe the numbers coming out of China. I believe that they're much higher, and I believe that it's much worse over there. So I want to get that out of the way. So now, this right now, this guy, I don't know how to say his name. I'm just going to say Chamath, but he's an investor in the Golden State Warriors, and he's an early investor in Bitcoin, and he said something really important about having a portfolio. So when I talk to you about real estate, when I talk to you about gold and silver, when I talk to you about cryptocurrency, when I talk to you about stocks, it's about having an overall portfolio. All of your assets should not be in one particular industry. Remember, markets are a pendulum. They go from overvalued to undervalued. So you have asset classes like gold and silver. That's known as a safe haven trade. People invest in treasuries, bonds. That's a safe haven trade. People get out of stocks and get into the dollar. That's a safe haven trade. Different investments have different purposes. When I'm investing in crypto, I'm simply speculating on the price because I know that Bitcoin has been the best performing asset over the past decade. If you put $1 into Bitcoin 10 years ago, it's worth $90,000 today. So understand that it's very important that you get that. Hold on real quick. Let me put the sound on. Give me 1 second. Let's turn this off and let's put the sound on. Here we go.
Ever become an actual means of transacting?
Yeah.
It does still. Can I say crypto? Am I allowed to say crypto? I hope I am allowed to say crypto. Can I bring it up?
I would really like Bloomberg to take this article that I wrote for them in 2013 out of their paywall, but basically, you know, my view at the time, which I've held since today, haven't changed, is that everybody should probably have 1% of their assets in Bitcoin specifically.
Or crypto.
I still believe that today. And I think it is just a fantastic hedge. So if you go back to the conversation this morning, when you see the amount of leverage the financial industry is running, and you think about all these dislocations and all these exogenous things that are happening that you can't predict, there's a lot of risk to the downside. And it would be great that an average individual citizen of any country in the world has an uncorrelated hedge. And I've said this repeatedly ad nauseum on this show. Every financial instrument is correlated.
But Buffett,
it's all fake, except Bitcoin,
but Chamath,
which is
an uncorrelated hedge that Warren Buffett says.
So understand what he's saying here. What did I talk to you guys about the other day about how banks print money out of thin air? What did I talk to you about the fact that there's $74 trillion worth of debt in the system, but there's only $1.6 trillion of physical cash to pay that debt? So what I'm trying to get you to understand here is that that's leverage. And there's tons of leverage in the system. So when you start to see this 7%, this 5%, this 15%, this 20% drop in the market, that has tidal waves that is going to impact a whole bunch of different industries because it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Think about it. If the factories in China have to shut down production. That means that they can't ship goods and services. That means the people that work there, they're not working and getting paid. If they're quarantined and they're stuck, they're not spending money. That means businesses aren't making money. Well, if businesses stop making profit, then guess what they have to do? They then have to lay people off. Well, if they lay people off, we live in a debt-based society and a consumption-driven society. So if people stop consuming, companies stop making money. If people still get laid off and they stop making money, they stop paying their mortgage. They stop paying their car notes. Well, then guess what happens to these banks that created this money out of thin air? Because they then securitize that debt and they create CDOs and they create mortgage-backed securities. Well, when they start creating all of these synthetic derivatives out of thin air and people stop paying them, well, now they have to start taking losses. And we know interest rates are already low, so it becomes this feedback loop of deflation because they're creating money out of thin air. In order for the economy to grow, people have to keep going into debt, which is why we're running a $23 trillion deficit in the first place. And we're going to get to that later on in the video. So you have to educate yourself on this and understand. That's why you want to be invested in gold and silver. That's why you want to be invested in things like Bitcoin, because it's outside of the traditional financial system. And remember, all of these other currencies are pegged to the US dollar. So when you want to do business in other currencies, you have to convert your currency into the US dollar in order to go out and buy commodities. So all of these things matter. So when you start seeing spikes and crashes and prices or crashes in the stock market, these things matter. So this is why you want to be in investments like that. Now, one more thing before we get into the information. You constantly hear people talking about, well, what does Bitcoin produce? And again, I can tell you that whenever I hear that, I just know that people, they haven't studied the technology and they don't know what they're talking about. So give me 1 second. Let me pull this up for you. So let's pull it on the iPad. Let's flip over to the iPad. Boom. So right now, people don't understand that cryptocurrency is technology. Bitcoin is a protocol. Ethereum is a protocol. Tezos is a protocol. Right now, what I'm showing you, these are the protocol layers that make up the internet. So let's highlight this real quick. This right here, the TCP, this right here, that's the transmission control protocol. HTTP, HTTPS, all of these are different protocols that make up the internet. But understand, you didn't have a chance to invest in any of these protocols. Right now, we're using all of these protocols right now to watch this live stream. You're utilizing these protocols. These protocols make up what is known as the internet. But the problem with these protocols is they weren't able to capture the wealth. It was the websites and the applications built on top of these protocols that captured the wealth. So Amazon, Netflix, Google, IBM, Microsoft, Snapchat, all of these applications and websites, they're built on top of all of these applications. That wealth was built on these protocols. Well, guess what? Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're just the base layer protocol. There's something known as a DApp, a decentralized application, and they're going to be built on top of Ethereum, and they're going to be built on top of Tezos, and they're going to be built on top of Bitcoin. So when you see cryptocurrency, it's known as the Internet 2.0. So when Warren Buffett says, oh, well, I don't see any value in a Bitcoin, it's not the value that Bitcoin creates, it's what's going to be built on top of Bitcoin that creates the value. Because the next Amazon is going to be built on top of Ethereum. The next Amazon is going to be built on top of Tezos. That's the value proposition. You're getting a chance to participate in these wealth transfers. SMTP, right? Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. That's email. See, you don't know that because you don't have a tech background. So you don't understand the value of that. Imagine if you had a chance to own a piece of the SMTP protocol. Imagine if you had a chance to own a piece of email before email became popular. How much would that be worth? You have to start thinking about that. How much would that be worth? Now, when you own Ethereum, when you own EOS, when you own Tezos, it's something known as an airdrop. Right? You get airdropped tokens because you own the underlying protocol. So when a new coin is launched on top of that blockchain, the new DApp that's being built, the new application that's being built on top of that protocol, you get it for free because you own the underlying protocol. This is why you have to understand that. This is extremely important. It says airdrops aim to take advantage of network effect by engaging existing holders of a particular blockchain-based currency, such as Bitcoin or Ethereum, in their currency or project. There are two ways creators distribute their tokens: by selecting recipients at random or by publishing the event in airdrop-related bulletin boards or newsletters. Often, random Ethereum accounts with value above a certain threshold will receive various unsolicited airdropped tokens. So think about it. If the next Amazon, when I owned EOS, the token, right? When they started building dApps on top of EOS, I was airdropped Engine token. I was airdropped Ontology. I was given tokens for free because I owned the underlying protocol. So if one of these dApps takes off, you have the ability to own that. Also, when there is a fork, right? A Bitcoin fork is a term describing a split in the Bitcoin network. A fork can result in the creation of new coins that can be claimed by existing Bitcoin owners. In the post, I'll explain in detail what Bitcoin forks are, what risks they entail, and how to claim coins generated from forks safely. So when I go here and you see Bitcoin and then you see Bitcoin Cash, because I own so much Bitcoin, when they created that fork, I was forked Bitcoin Cash because I owned the underlying protocol. So when you hear people say like, oh, Ethereum doesn't have value or Tezos doesn't have value, start thinking about TCP. Oh, hold on. I got to flip it over. Sorry, guys. I keep doing that. When I owned Bitcoin and they forked with Bitcoin Cash, I was given Bitcoin Cash because I owned the underlying protocol. So when you start hearing people say, oh, well, it doesn't produce anything. Yeah, right now, today, these blockchains, all this technology may not be producing things as of today. That's the whole purpose of investing. One day it may. We're talking about, when you look at Ethereum, we're talking about a $23 billion market cap coin. We're talking about $23 billion. Do you understand how far that can go? So I want to put that out there for you to understand. This is the value this is what you're potentially investing in. Now, how does this tie into what Polight is talking about? Do you see how when I'm speaking to you about things that I have money in? Do you see how I'm speaking to you about things that I have some level of competency in? Right? Like I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. Like I can tell you what a blockchain is. I can tell you what Bitcoin does. I can speak to you about SHA-256. I can speak to you about the different algorithms. I can speak to you about the projects being built on top of Ethereum. When you listen to Brother Polight, what does he really know? Right? He uses a bunch of words, but when you go to his Instagram page, and we're going to get to the coronavirus in a second, guys. When you go to this page, do you see anything about real estate here? Do you see anything about cryptocurrency on here? Do you see anything on here about business? Or do you see an IG model? I don't see a person on here that knows about business. I don't see a person on here that's showing me that he's running a profitable business. I see a person on here that's trying to market material objects to you and material things to you. Now, I want to transition because we're going to say this for a second. So let's get back over here now. So this just came out. It says the CDC confirms first possible community spread of the coronavirus case in the U.S. Yesterday I broke down to you that in San Francisco, they declared a state of an emergency. Guys, right now, the coronavirus is an epidemic. It's an epidemic. In order for them to upgrade it to a pandemic, you have to see sustained spread on multiple continents. Guys, we're starting to see spread on multiple continents. And when I said yesterday, San Francisco's not going to come out and just say, oh, we're declaring a state of emergency for no reason. That means that something's happening over there that's beginning to become serious. So It says the Center for Disease Control and Prevention on Wednesday confirmed the first possible community spread of the coronavirus in the U.S. The CDC doesn't know exactly how the patient, a California resident, contracted the virus. The case was picked up by clinicians in the public health system, the agency said. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention on Wednesday confirmed the first possible community spread of the coronavirus in the U.S. found in a patient in California. The CDC doesn't know exactly how the patient contracted the virus. The individual is a resident of Solano County and is receiving medical care in Sacramento County. At this time, the patient's exposure is unknown, the CDC said. It's possible this could be an instance of community spread of COVID-19, which would be the first time this has happened in the United States. So again, when you hear Trump coming out, because Trump just did a press conference and he says, don't worry about it. We have everything under control. And he puts Mike Pence at the head. Guys, pandemics are serious. And I'm not here to spread fear. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to inform you. This is why I'm not panicking. Why? Because I have supplies. I have water. I have food, right? I have a backup plan. I also have investments that are outside of the banking system. So even if there's a bank run, even if there's a bank holiday and they close the banks, this is why I have crypto. This is another reason why you want to be invested in different cryptocurrency projects. But again, let's briefly read this. It says Trump puts Mike Pence in charge of response to coronavirus, says U.S. risk remains very low. This is what Trump is saying now. So I highlighted some quick things real quick. It says Vice President Mike Pence will be put in charge of the U.S. response to the deadly coronavirus outbreak, President Trump announced Wednesday in an address from the White House. It says the president also sowed some confusion in India when he said we're very close to a vaccine, a claim that the White House said was made in reference to the Ebola virus, not the coronavirus. Around noon Wednesday, the CDC had confirmed 60 coronavirus cases in the U.S., a majority of which came from passengers repatriated from the Diamond Princess cruise ship that was quarantined off of the coast of Japan. Now, remember, I spoke to you about the other day about it's going to be hard to make a vaccine. Why? Because most of the ingredients that goes into the vaccines come from China. Number two, it takes years to develop a vaccine. Number three, you need enough human trials because they're only testing it in mice. And then number four, you don't know how effective this vaccine may be, and you don't know what the side effects of that vaccine may be. Now, for those of you who've been following me, you know that I'm anti-vaccine. I don't trust vaccines, and I don't want to be a guinea pig. So, with that being said, though, let's read this real quick. It says, hopes to get a vaccine to market are high, but doctors want expectations to be low for how quickly it can happen. Developing, testing, and reviewing any potential vaccine is a long, complex, and expensive endeavor that could take months, even years. Think about that. They're saying it could take months or even years, global health experts say. Before researchers can begin human trials, they must have a firm understanding of the pathogen, run safety tests, and find enough human volunteers. Who the hell is going to volunteer to get injected with the coronavirus and be a guinea pig? Right? I know I'm not going to be the person that's going to volunteer for them to set this up. So it says one more part. It says Fauci said a vaccine may not solve problems in the next couple of months, but it certainly would be important tool that we would have. He said it's possible the virus will prove to be seasonal, thus likely to subside in warmer months like the flu. Again, guys, we're in the middle of flu season, which creates more of a problem because now we have to start thinking about, can the hospitals actually sustain a breakout and have hundreds of people running there at the same time thinking that they may be sick because we're in the middle of flu season? It says, we are asking the American public to work with us to prepare for the expectation that this could be bad. Dr. Nancy Messonnier, Director of the CDC's National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases, told reporters on a conference call. Key thing, we are asking the American public to work with us to prepare for the expectation that this could be bad. Now, let's jump and let me show you what's happening to people over in China. This is how they're quarantining people over in China, which is why it's important to be prepared.
哎呀，不要哭，不要哭，我要你。
This is a girl that's handcuffed in her room. She's crying for her mother. This is how they are quarantining people in China. This is why it's important to be prepared. These are the so-called hospitals that they are setting up in places like China. These look like jails to me. This looks like a jail. This doesn't look like a hospital, right? So you have to understand, this is why you have to really start thinking about things. Do you want to end up in situations like this because you failed to prepare? Or do you want to make sure that you have some level of preparedness? I'm not saying this to get you scared. I'm saying this to get you to understand and be prepared as to what's going on. All of these videos is based out of China. This is them snatching people out of their homes who they think may be sick. And these people are fighting like this because they know once they get taken out of here, there's no way that they're going to probably be able to get back home. Because if they say you're sick, then you're sick. Right? And don't think that this can't happen in America. Don't think for 1 second. Look at this. They're sealing people inside of their buildings. If you're in a situation and you're stuck in your building like this, do you have enough water? Do you have enough toilet paper? Do you have medical supplies? Do you have enough food? Do you have canned goods? These are things that you have to think about. These things are important. This is not about fear mongering. This is getting you to think. We live in a global society. Globalization is important. Everything's interconnected. We're going to get into the supply chain in a second, guys, about disruptions in the supply chain. I just wanted to show you some videos so that you can get an understanding as to what's happening here. They're snatching mothers from their children in the middle of the street. So, hold on. This just took me out of what I wanted to put this at. So now, I read this article the other day and I want to share with you again. Because I want to talk to you about supply chains. This is important, right? Because most of the masks, most of the equipment that we use in hospitals, respirators, penicillin, aspirin, ibuprofen, all of that stuff comes from China. Well, if they're having an epidemic/pandemic over there, they're not going to be able to ship goods and services here because this virus can live on the surface. So the goods and services that they can ship to us could be potentially contaminated, and they're having to shut down their factories so they can't even produce stuff. So let's read this article a little bit. I highlighted a few paragraphs. It says, with an intense flu season in full swing, hundreds of thousands of coughing and feverish patients have already overwhelmed emergency rooms around the United States. Now hospitals are bracing for the potential spread of coronavirus that could bring another surge of patients. So we're already in flu season. Hospitals are already burdened with people. And now we may have this spike in the coronavirus. It says public health experts are closely watching reserves of vital medical supplies and medications, many of which are made in China. Some hospitals in the United States are already critically low on respirator masks, according to Premier Inc., which secures medical supplies and equipment on behalf of hospitals and health systems. And China is the dominant supplier of raw ingredients needed for penicillin, ibuprofen, and aspirin, drugs taken daily by millions of Americans and dispensed routinely to hospital patients. Think about that. Supply chain. Most of our goods are made over in China. Most of the ingredients that's in penicillin, that's in ibuprofen, that's in aspirin, saline bags, respirators, It's made over in China. Now start thinking about the vaccine and producing the vaccine. Even if we came up with a vaccine in 3 months here in the States, do we have enough manufacturing capacity to make a vaccine to treat enough people? Do we even have that manufacturing base here? Obviously, we don't, because we wouldn't have to go to China. Now, there's 321 of you watching the video. Please like the video. It helps the content definitely get out there. So this is why you're starting to see the market sell off, because now people are starting to put the pieces of the puzzle together and seeing the domino effect with the supply chain. Because again, if this turns into an all-out pandemic here in the States, now you're trying to fight this pandemic on multiple continents, and most of the manufacturers in China, and they're shut down for 2 or 3 months, you're not going to be able to produce enough of the goods that people need to be able to really combat this. It says, all the hospitals are taxed with a large flu season and other bugs, said Dr. Mark Jarrett, the chief quality officer for Northwell Health, which operates 23 hospitals across Long Island and elsewhere in New York. About 400 patients are coming to its emergency rooms each day with flu-like symptoms. Everybody is at maximum capacity, Dr. Jarrett said. Still, across the country, hospitals are taking steps to prepare for the potential threat. Some are already scrambling to find sufficient supplies of medical face masks, especially so-called N95 respirators, which are more effective for preventing infection. Manufacturers are struggling to keep up with global demand and the desperate need for supplies in China. The mask shortage highlights just how dependent the United States healthcare system is on goods from China. Let me repeat that sentence again. The mask shortage highlights just how dependent the United States healthcare system is on goods from China. Premier was told last week that a Taiwanese factory it had a contract with was halting shipment to the United States. In addition, Truan Powell, the group vice president of strategic supply engagement for Premier, said masks that are made in China are being diverted for use there. As a result, there's not as much supply to ship, he said. I mean, this is common sense. If the people in China are sick, you think they're going to be focused about money and shipping masks to us, or do you think that they're going to use the masks for themselves? And I just want to briefly illustrate to you what a supply chain is, because I know some of you may not know exactly what a supply chain is. So let's just flip over here to the iPad. Very simple, not complicated at all, right? You have materials that are sourced in China. Then it goes to the supplier. Then it goes to the manufacturer. Then it gets distributed. Obviously, being that China's all the way across the world, it has to put on ships and get exported to us. Well, if there's a break here, or there's a disruption here, now that throws a wrench in the supply chain, because all of that supply that's coming from China can't come from there now. Because as I just said to you, the coronavirus can live on the surface. It can live on a desk. It can live on a ship. It can live on the floor. So you're not going to want to ship goods from China because they could potentially be contaminated. Also, they may need to use the goods themselves. So now if you get a disruption in any one of these spots where the goods have to go before they can get to the States, that becomes a problem. And this is one of the problems of globalization, because everyone's interlinked and intertwined. So if you hit any disruptions, that causes a problem. Now, I highlighted the other day how the movie theater in China, right, the box office, at this time, they had grossed $1.9 billion. Well, as of today, it's all the way down to $3.4 million. Why? Because people are quarantined. They can't go to the movie theaters. Therefore, they can't consume goods and services in China. China's the second largest economy. So not only do they manufacture a lot of things, but they also do consume a lot of goods and services. Walt Disney, right? Because people don't want to have to congregate in large public places around groups of people because they could potentially get sick. So people are staying at home. That's going to affect the bottom lines of these companies. So now what does that do for our economy? Does that send us into a recession in the second half of 2020 going into the presidential election? Possibly. If this turns into a pandemic, could the recession then turn into a depression? Possibly, which is why you need to go and read the book, The Black Swan. It's a really, really important book. This is why you need to Educate yourself about these things. And I'm not saying this to make you fearful. I'm saying this to educate you. Now, with that being said, let's get to the Brother Polight stuff. I know that's why many of you are here. So let's flip this over and let's get to what's going on here. I want to drop this video in the chat for you guys, because I know many of you came here to find out what's going on with Polight. So let's put this in the chat. And we'll get back. That was just if you want to see my coverage, I went into deeper into depth the previous videos that I did the what is that, Monday and Tuesday. Let me take a sip of water. My mouth is getting dry. So I want to highlight a few things. Notice that this keeps happening over and over again. If you are a young man and you're looking for, I'm going to teach you now how to critically think and how to assess a business opportunity, how to assess a mentor. Where are Polight's successful students at? I'm going to ask that question again. There's all of these videos of people saying they've been scammed. Can you find me one successful student who can say, Brother Polight mentored me, and I went out and I brought my first multifamily unit house, or I got a deal with the UCC or the BCC from the ACC from the DCC, all of these, terms that he throws out here. Can you find one successful student? Because I've yet to find one successful student. Instead, what I keep seeing is a lot of men like this. And guys, please don't take what I'm saying negatively, right? Sometimes you got to give your brother tough love, because many of these young brothers, they have lottery ticket mentalities. They think that they're going to give this man $3,500 or $1,000, or they're going to buy this book, or they're going to take this course and they're going to become a millionaire. And it doesn't work like that. Guys, I've been an entrepreneur now going on 12 years. I've purchased well over probably 30, 40 different courses. Some of them were good. Some of them were bad, right? Education is a continuing thing. But many of these brothers, they're attracted to the cars. They're attracted to the women. They're attracted to this whole hustler mentality. Because a lot of us, we come from the hood. And we have this mentality of flipping money. And in the business world, you don't flip money in business. You invest money and you get a profit. You invest money and you get a profit. Any investment that's going to make you more than 20%, 30% on an annual basis, year after year, and the person's telling you that there's not a lot of risk involved in that, walk away immediately. Walk away immediately. Now let's listen to what this brother has to say a little bit, and then I'm going to give you my commentary. So let's put this on real quick. Hold on. So let's put this on.
I paid $3,500 just here to share my personal experience on an attempted mentorship program with Brother Polight. I paid $3,500 and I didn't get a single thing. And I want to warn other people that could possibly run into the same thing. Yeah, so here we go. On Saturday, November 16th, 2019 at 6:04, I messaged him, Rahul Babu Hatep, good brother. Not sure if you remember me. I'm Imhotep Ray. I reached out 2 months ago about the constant mentorship program. Just checking in to let you know I will be enrolling or paying in full around the second week in December. I have $2,300 now, and I have the other $1,200 soon for the $3,500 price that of the entry-level program. Thank you for all that you do. Please save me a spot in the program, good brother. Here is that message. I'm gonna make sure I leave it for a second. So I'm also seeing that it's looking like it's backwards, so I'm gonna have to attach this via an app, so y'all can see it straight. Now he said, "Thank you, family. You got."
So just from listening to him, and again, guys, please don't take what I'm saying about this brother like I'm attacking him. There's 362 of you watching this, by the way. Please hit the like button. It helps the content get out there. I want to be very clear with you. I'm not attacking this brother. But just from listening to him speak, I can tell that he doesn't even have the basic fundamentals to be an entrepreneur. You have to do self-education. Before you get a mentor, You need to have a basic level of understanding as to what the hell you are investing in. What is he mentoring you to do? Right? Not just, I'm going to help you get a status correction, and then I'm going to teach you how you can get a trust and then put your business in the trust. No, what am I buying? What am I investing in? Because as I said to you before, when you go to this brother's Instagram, you see here, when you go to this brother's Instagram, I don't see a website to any business that I'm supposed to be like looking into and educating myself about. Instead, I see a link to a YouTube channel and I see I am the evolution of the revolution. I don't see anything about real estate on this page. I don't see anything about investing in this page. Instead, I see him with women and material things. And see, this is why he's going after this demographic of people, because a lot of you brothers are attracted to this garbage. And a lot of you brothers need to wake up. A lot of you need to grow up. Yo, I struggled for 6 years before I became successful. I slept in my car. I slept in my car for almost a year so that I can invest in myself and chase my dreams. I didn't go buy some course from some guy on the internet and just became successful. No, I put in pain and I put in time. You really think you're gonna get a mentorship for $3,500 and you're just going to be successful and that's it? Now ask yourself this question. How the hell, it's 24 hours in a day. How the hell does this man have time to sleep, be a father to his children, have multiple wives, educate himself and stay up to date with what's happening in the economy and in the world, and then have enough time to hang out with celebrities, and then have enough time to be able to get on the phone and mentor you? Guys, a lot of you ask me every day. I get emails and messages. Hey, can you mentor me? Guys, I don't have the time. I would be lying to you if I told you that I could sit here and mentor you. First of all, my time is worth more than $3,500. My time is worth more than that. If there's not enough time in the day to be able to mentor you one by one, that wouldn't even make sense. Now I can see if he was doing like a group mentorship type thing and bringing you guys in and doing some type of an online class type of thing, which I know that he does do sometimes, but then even then he doesn't show up all the time. Why can't he? Because there's not enough time in a day. So if you just look at the logistics, you can say to yourself, this doesn't make any sense. Now, if a man's driving a Rolls Royce, why the hell does he want to mentor you? If a man's made enough money, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I could make enough money to buy a goddamn Rolls Royce, I would not be sitting on here trying to lecture you and teach you. If I make enough money to sit on floor seat at Laker games, and I got season tickets, I'm not mentoring you for $3,500. It's not worth my time. If I'm driving a $400,000 car, if I'm driving a $500,000 car, I'm not sitting on the internet and lecturing you. It doesn't make any sense. Let's get back to the video.
Got me at the right time. Do you start with the money making process now and put some of the money down and get the ball rolling? And once again, I want to make sure y'all can see it. I'm gonna have to post it at the end anyway, so this probably don't matter. Damn, we can't see nothing. There you go. You can like kind of see it now, so y'all can just see it's backwards. But I'm gonna post it at the end. I'm gonna read it now and I'm gonna post it periodically, but I'm gonna post it at the end just so y'all know I'm not lying. And I was like, hell yeah, I want to, basically. He said, he'll call me inside 5 minutes. He asked me if I had Zelle, Quick Pay, or Cash App. I told him I have Cash App, and he told me to send it to Millie Abel. And this is him telling me to send the money. And for everybody that's going to say you a dumbass, you're right. Yeah, I definitely was a dumbass. I should have did more research, and he definitely got me. No, look, well, forgive me, but...
At least he's being honest and saying he knows he's a dumbass. Because first of all, I'm not selling no money to your wife. If I'm doing business with you, I'm sending you the money and I need a confirmation number to what I'm buying. See, that right there tells you that this is not even a legit business. This is not even legit business that you're doing. Where's the confirmation number to the product that you're buying? Right? You should get some type of a confirmation email. There should be a website. Like, for example, right? I took this class here with me, Kevin, right? When you buy this man's course, you see he has a website, right? So I can see the website. He has a YouTube channel. Well, that's right. He has a YouTube channel. When I come to his YouTube channel, do I see naked women? Do I see a Rolls Royce? Do I see him sitting at a Lakers game? Or do I see meetkevin.com, your real estate coach? So I know if I want to learn about real estate, this guy is showing me he does real estate. Then I can come here and I can see he has products. $487, $997, $325, $397. Do you see him? Do you see him charging $3,500 for some mentorship? Look at the price of those products. Look at the price of those products. Affordable products for you. Now, this is a licensed real estate agent. This man is a licensed real estate agent. He has a credential. He's also a real estate investor, meaning that I can go and I can look him up and I can see this is a real man that invests in real estate. And I can then click on this, right? And he gives me a breakdown and he tells me what I'm investing in. Real estate investing from zero to millionaire and beyond. I can then go look up his LLC. I can look up the companies and corporations that he owns. And I can see that he actually has a real business. Not in his wife's name, not in Amunet, not in Sarutat, we're not talking about the Mercury retrograde from the 9th dimension with the shea butter on your forehead. I shave my brother and sister. No, we're not talking about ancient Kemet. We're talking about legit business. LLC. Okay, he has that. What's your name? Okay, I know your name. Okay, I can go look you up and see he's been doing real estate for an extensive period of time. Right? That right there is real. This is important stuff, right? So I know when I buy this product for $487, I'm getting a product, and then it outlines what he's doing. Then once a week, twice a week, they do a live stream, and he actually sits down with his students, right, over a live stream, and they go over deals. That's what mentorship looks like, and it's not $3,500. And I know what I'm buying. You can say he looks like a high school kid, but this man has 262,000 subscribers. This man has video after video talking about real estate. 20 ways pro real estate investors bank money. 2019 real estate market crash exposed. I'm shocked the seller did this on a $1.3 million house. I can go in here and I can look up what this man is doing business-wise. He's not talking about astro projecting to go meet reptilian aliens. He's not talking about his wives and kill juice. He's talking to you about business, about real estate, and how you can do real estate. That's what I want to. That's what I want to invest in. That's what I want to invest in. When you listen to this brother, he doesn't even know what he's buying. And you're sending money to his wife's name, but you're not doing business with the wife. That doesn't even make any sense.
I got to put this truth out there, even if I look a little rough. And then here is a screenshot of the actual $1,500, the first deposit I made to him, to Melly Abreu, which is, I think, one of his alleged wives. I don't know. I'm not into his personal business, just business-wise. He didn't do me right. Yeah, and then I sent him $2,000 up front first. So yeah, and then here's him telling me to go to my online banking because I told him bank with Wells Fargo and to send the other $500 to send him the other to make it for a total of $2,000. And there's him and his number. Leave it up there for a second so I can be screenshotted if needed. Yeah, and then I sent it. Of course, can you see the sent? Yeah, you can see the sent. There's it being sent at $500. So he got $2,000. So he got it, told me to send my full name, email address, told me to call me back. I sent it all to him. He told me to, and it seemed like everything was going good. He asked me what's my income to expense ratio. He sent me a message. I'll just show y'all, of course, make better. Sent me a message asking me about certain things that made it seem like he was about to do what he said. Do what's your largest expense, income expense ratio, what you make a year, student loans, free days when you off. What is the condition, city and state you live in, credit score? And so I was like fucking excited, bro, because I was like, yo, I was like, damn, I finally, got this money to pay Brother Polight. I'm about to change my life. And then here's me sending him how much money I made yearly and all that stuff, which is not really important to y'all.
Now, let me teach you some more game, right? Now, this is all alleged. This is this man's testimony, right? But when a person's asking you questions, see, let me show you how he's setting them up. Let me show you how he's setting them up like the sucker that he is. He's saying to him, I want to know how much money you make. I want to know what your credit score is. Because he's trying to see, allegedly, can I get him for more than $3,500? Right? Can I get him for more than $3,500? So he's trying to, because this is exactly what Crypto Roots said. Remember, the brother Crypto Roots, who alleges that Polight got him for 100 grand. Right? First he gave Polight like 20,000, allegedly, based upon what Crypto Roots is saying. And then, he was getting Polight Ubers, allegedly. He was paying for studio time, allegedly. And then eventually Polight was like, yo, you look like you got more than 20,000. So then he goes, oh, word? Well, how much you got? See, this is how they line you up. Because he want to see, do you got some credit that we can tap into with the UCC, with the BCC, with the ACC? Then I'm going to give you the status correction, my brother. Then we going to go see Mama Ashun and Mama Oya. And then we going to go with the Pan-African brothers. And then after that, brother, we going to be rich. Ashe. That's what he want to hit you with. He lining you up. And see, you dumb enough to think that, first of all, no course is going to change your life. Information doesn't change your life. Action changes your life. Right? I didn't get rich. Let me tell you something, guys. I used to read Think and Grow Rich. I used to read books like The Secret from Rhonda Burns. I was into the whole Kevin Trudeau, the Esther Hicks, right? All of those books. You can chant. You can hum. You can meditate, you can levitate, you can do all of that yoga you want to. If your ass don't get out here and put some work in and take some action, you ain't gonna make no money. You can astral project, you can burn all of the sage you want, you can think positive, you can have the vegan diet. If you're trying to be in a business, you gotta be a go-getter. You gotta be a hustler. You're not going to make no money sitting around astral projecting all day long, watching videos. You can watch all the videos you want in the world. If you don't have no money and you don't have no hustle and no drive, you ain't going to make no money. See, it takes money to make money. This brother was better off taking that $3,500 and investing in his damn self. He should have sat down, watched a few videos, and then went and started a corporation. And then watched a few videos and start trying to drop ship. And then watched a few videos and went out and started a YouTube channel. And watched a few videos and learned how to go wholesale some real estate. He should have learned and then applied. We live in an information age. There's too much free information out here. Educate and then do. You don't change your life by just watching the video. You have to go and do something with the information. And you can't do a goddamn thing with astral projecting from the fifth dimension, rubbing your chakras, and all of this foolish new age, oh, I'm going to just think positive and money's going to come in my bank. No, you got to go get money. You got to hustle. You got to do stuff. Oh.
Then I messaged him again, Sunday, November 17th, and I asked him, was there anything else that you need from me, good brother? He said, soon we'll touch base with you. And then on the 18th, I said, didn't get to be with you yesterday. I'm out around 4:30 Central Time. And I will confirm this AM with you. And here's him saying that. There's me replying, saying, Huawei. That just means okay. And then that's the 17th, 18th, and then the 19th. I said, Peace King, got a link. Eventually, Mercury retrograde. In effect, it actually was a Mercury retrograde. Y'all didn't know what that means. And then on the 20th, so that's, you hear these days, 18th, 19th. Wait, no, he didn't message me back on the 18th. Okay, so it's the 20th, he messaged me back finally, and he tells me, peace, brother. Peace to you, brother. The registration fee for the trust is now $140 more. Are you able to zero that over to keep things moving forward? Also, I'm available to talk this afternoon around 12:15 this afternoon. Okay? I guess I have to move that. Oh, why did I push that? All right. And here's him asking me for it. For those who have his number and that have signed up for his mentorship program, of course, y'all can confirm that that's his number at the top. And for those of y'all, that may know him or, that's his number at the top. I'm not making this up. I have no reason to. I don't want to be known for being scammed. So there's going to be thousands of people in the comments. You idiot, you dumbass.
Yeah, I'm one of them. I'm one of those people who is going to call you an idiot, who is going to call you a dumbass. And I don't mean this. I mean this out of love. You got to stop giving these brothers tough love, man. Guys, it takes work to make money. There's enough free education out here. You don't need to be out here investing thousands of dollars into no education. You spend that kind of money when you making bank. This is ridiculous. But see, again, you can tell that this young brother hasn't taken enough time to love himself enough to educate himself. He hasn't put the work in. Guys, when I make these videos for you, these live streams, I sit for 3 or 4 hours and read these articles. You see me highlighting stuff. I take notes. I take time out to inform and educate myself before I speak about something. And I'll be damned if I put 3,500 into something if I haven't even researched what the hell I'm putting 3,500 in.
Have a field day, man. I've already come to terms with what happened. So I tell him I have the 144. I have it at home, and I told him I'd get it to him. He told me, great. He asked me what time we should have anticipated. So I'm out of Alabama. And I asked him, and I told him at 11:30, and I told him, and I asked him, was it going to be subtracted from the, from the 1,500 balance that I had left? And there's me saying that again, and you can see it. And
now another jewel I want to give you. It takes money to make money, right? So if you put, he doesn't have enough money to even fully buy the mentorship. So again, I'm not attacking the brother. I'm giving him some game right now. So even if you buy the mentorship, you don't have enough money to do anything with the mentorship. So even if this brother gave you the best knowledge in the world, you tapped yourself out when you gave him the $3,500 allegedly. So you can't do nothing now. You're broke. You're tapped out. See, you should have took that $3,400 and invested in some skills. Learn how to code. Learn how to build some websites so you can get a hustle on the side. And then build up some money with that side hustle. Invest that money in yourself. See, it doesn't even make any sense. Even if he got the mentorship, he didn't have no money to do nothing with the mentorship. It take money to make money. So he would have been done anyway.
Hope y'all can screenshot it. Like I said, I'm gonna find a way to get these and put them in the video like a video edit app. Yeah, or when you can make the next payment. And I told him December the 13th is the day that I can make that payment. And this day, this was on November the 20th again. All right. And he said, cool, we'll figure it out. And then I paid him $144. There's the Zelle app of me sending it to him. Zelle is a wiring app that's connected to Wells Fargo. And this is when I messaged him again on 21st Peak King, just trying to find out what part of the mentorship program I'm at. Didn't get a response back. That was on the 21st. So then the 23rd, 22nd, 23rd, then the 24th, I messaged him. Peace, brother. Mind you, let me just make that known. All those days he never contacted me back. He never started a process to where I got any information or I was informed about what was really going on. I gave him the information and he just went ghost and he just said he was busy. And then on the 24th, when I said, peace, brother, I'm looking to put down another 200 towards the 1356 balance left for my entry into the conscious mentorship program, boom, get a message right back. And of course, here's the proof. No reason to lie. I'm not trying to slander a name, but I gotta tell the truth about my experience.
Now, see, I don't want to just sit around and just bash. I like to give people information as well, right? See, I'm not one of these guys. I don't just want to sit around all day long and talk about them. Thank you for everyone who's donated. I can't see the chat because I'm doing the presentation, but thank you, Mr. G. I just saw that. This is so sad and funny at the same time. Polight isn't the only one. There's Umar and Tariq and many more frosters in the community. Again, guys, to each his own. I'll touch on that later on. Right now, guys, this is MIT open courseware. Let's say you don't have enough money. You don't have money to go to college. Let's say you fresh out of jail. Let's put the worst on you, right? Let's say you fresh out of prison, you don't really have any money. You can go learn at MIT OpenCourseWare. These are real college classes that you can go and learn. You want to learn how to program, right? Introduction to Computer Science and Programming in Python. What is computation? For free. For free. They actually are recording the classes, the lectures live, the presentations, as you can see right here, for free. And you can go and watch this. And you can learn how to program in Python. You can learn how to program in C and C++ for free. So you could have kept that $3,500 and went and learned a skill for free that you can actually use in the real world and do something with. They even have the whole syllabus, what you need to read, the lecture videos and everything for free. It's free. And this is we're not talking about going back to ancient Kemet and Mesopotamia and tapping into the ancestors and Mama Oya. We're talking about you can go learn a skill right now that can go make you money. But see, many of you spend so much time, fifth dimension, all of this, your time listening to foolishness. And I can speak for myself because I did it. I listened to Alex Jones and David Icke and Jordan Maxwell and all of these people talking about the gray aliens and the reptilian aliens. And they coming from Planet X. So then one day I just asked myself, well, if the Illuminati Bilderberg, they control and run everything, why the hell they hiding? Why play this game? If these aliens can come in from a whole nother planet, why I gotta buy your book? We shouldn't be reading books and stuff if we battling reptilian aliens. You start to see that this stuff, it's a hustle. It's to get in your pockets. It's to take money from you. They use this stuff to get into your mind, to make you feel inadequate. Polight don't have nothing to offer you worth anything. The man can't teach you nothing. He knows nothing. He's a 2-bit hustler, which is why he has on gold shoes, Rolls Royces. He goes to DJ Vlad because he's tapping into that hip hop genre of young black men. And a lot of you black men need to grow up. That's not what life is about. It's not about how many girls and women you can get. It's not about how many wives you can have. It's not about Rolls Royces and gold shoes. It's about producing something. Go in here and learn some stuff. Quantum physics, mathematics for computer science, physics 3, signal processing on databases. Go take your time and learn. And all of the, thank you for the donation, Mr. G. All of this stuff is here to learn. I spend 2 hours of my day learning. I don't spend 2 hours of my day sitting around listening to Hidden Colors 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and listening to the Hebrews battle against the Moors and talking about Malachi Z. York and did they set them up. I focus on things that are going to produce something in my life. And you need to do the same thing. For free. For free. You could have took that $3,500, put that in your pocket, and spent the next 60, 90 days on this MIT site and found something that you want to learn about. That's what I do. See? So when I speak, I can speak about things I know because I take the time out to educate myself. Love yourself enough to educate yourself first before you spend $1 with anyone else. Love yourself to educate yourself. Crazy. This is foolishness.
He's like, boom! In the same minute, actually, the time ain't even changed. I'm looking at the time because I can see when it was red. He probably didn't know that because he lied to me a lot. He tells me to send a $200 to Melody Abreu. I tell him that I was all done and I'm still on track to make the final payment on December 13th because I had made an arrangement, told him I'd be done paying everything by the December the 13th. And he was like, all right, my brother, I'm walking with you. And that's him saying that right there. All right, my brother, I'm walking with you. Let's see. Boom. Okay, boom. And that let me see. Okay, that was the last time I talked to him, and that was Sunday, November 24th. All right. Then the next time I talked to him was me messaging him because once again I'm thinking that I'm not gonna probably be able to get started with the full details or whatever of the process until I pay the whole, amount of money, trying to, do what I was supposed to do, thinking because he's requiring and asking certain information to me that he's actually doing, what he said he was doing. And then I said, Peace King, per our agreement, I'm ready to make the next payment. Boom, I told him I can sell the money. Boom, I did it. That's me doing the money again. Another one, not the same date, a whole another one for $578, which like I said, I'm going to put it in the end anyway. He said, got it. Told him I appreciate the patience because, I'm thinking, he dealing with people that's making a lot more money. He got better things to be doing with his time. But, he holding it down for me. So I'm like, I appreciate it, because I feel like he's doing something for me. That's what I was feeling like, of course. And what it was. And then, let's see. Then I hit him with the next Friday, December the 13th, the last payment that I made to him, which equaled up the final $3,500. And I sent it to him, and he said you can send the funds now. That's me messaging him saying, hey, Peace King, per our agreement, got the next payment. I know y'all people probably saying stupid. Yep. That's what happened. Pretty stupid, right? Won't do it again, of course. You live and you learn. And then he said, got it. That's this, and this will really hurt body because, I'm thinking he's doing something for me. You look up to this brother because the brother is smart. You can't take that away from him. Everybody got sketchy history or past, but you be thinking, people change and they doing stuff. So he's like, got it. That's respect. Very few people be actually on point. It's been a while, and that's him sending me that, and so you ain't see I ain't lying. I was like, that's what's up, man. I'm trying to better myself, and this is fine. I've studied. It's great. I'm glad you financially empowering people. And then he said, I'm getting ready for my flight in a couple of hours. I will touch base when I settle in. It is 2:46 where I'm at. And I told him what time it was, where I was. The random Sinbad post is from, I sent him that screenshot from because he was talking about some real deep stuff one time. So, it ain't got nothing to do with it. Anyway, and then December 14th, Peace King, let me know when you can bill. Didn't get nothing back. Remember, I paid the 13th, so they had nothing the 14th. December 16th, and I sent him a video. Peace Fair, I'm just watched the class another night. Super excited about the mentorship. He takes me back. Great. I'm like, great. Great. Where's the trust? Where's the, he's supposed to be. If anybody knew about the mentorship program, when he stated it, he's going to call you a certain number of times a week and a certain number of times to equal a certain number of times a month. And I had made that payment, and so I was looking to see when we were going to schedule those initial meetings for the mentorship. And it never happened, of course.
Now, again, let's go back to what was I just saying before? You have to put things into perspective. There's 24 hours in a day. You have to sleep at least 8 of them. That means that there's 16 hours in a day. How can a man sit around and mentor you? How? How can he mentor all of you people? He has to be a husband to multiple wives. He then has to be a father to his children. He then has to deal with his celebrity clients. He's constantly always traveling somewhere. How? He's never in a stable location. It's the same thing with Umar. How is Umar going to build something? Do you ever see the man in front of a computer? Do you ever see him sitting down in an office? He's always in his car or he's ranting and raving outside in a park. If you are trying to build a business, you have to be in an office. You have to be in front of technology. There's paperwork that you got to take care of. There's taxes. There's forms you have to fill out, right? Presentations you have to put together. How the hell is a man going to build a school or start a school from his car? Right? How can you start a school from your car? That don't even make sense. You have to have some type of an office, right? You need some type of a printer. You need a computer. Where's the professionalism in that at? Every time you see that Raccoon channel with Polight, he's always on his cell phone. How you conducting 6-figure business from a goddamn cell phone? That doesn't even make any logical sense. You running a 6-figure business from a cell phone? And how are you going to mentor people? How are you going to get the documentation? Where's the marketing at? Where's the ad copy? You know, like this doesn't make any sense, people. This doesn't make any business sense at all. Man has no website. You're cash apping them money. You're selling this one money. You're giving them broken up payments. You have no confirmation number. There's no membership. This doesn't even make, this is janky, hood rat, bum low business. This is not professional in no way. This is hood shit. This is flipping and dipping, and this is not how business is conducted. It make no sense. He's sitting and talking in front of his guys. Anyone can sit here and talk in front of his phone. Where's the presentation at that you're showing us what you're really doing? Where's the documentation? Where are the testimonials of the successful students at? Where are the students on Instagram saying, hey, I took Polight's course, and because of Polight's course, I just got my first multifamily deal. I just got my first cargo minium. Now, again, this is all alleged. This is this brother's story, but these are questions I'm asking. This is what I would be asking you. This doesn't make any sense. This is not how business is supposed to be conducted. And you brothers need to grow up, man. This is childish. This is not how professional people operate.
Yep. Okay, let's see. And then on the December the 19th, I said, peace, family. Let me know you might be able to touch bases concerning the program. Hope it's all well with you good. I mean, when you get the time, good brother, hope all is abundant. He said, all is abundant. Let's build around 2 p.m. I said, great, what's your time zone? Anyway, let me show you shit again. I don't have to read everything. This is a lot of text messages. This is from November to December to January, February. And he said, give me some time.
Now think about this. He just said from November to January. So what, you sat around and you waited? After the first week when the brother didn't deliver what he was supposed to deliver to you, you should have immediately been going to make a police report and filing a claim with your bank to get a refund. Like, you wait this long to make this video, knowing that these type of allegations is out here about Polight allegedly, and you don't take the time out. You wait 3 months to make this video. This is foolishness. You wait that long and, oh, king this and king this. Yeah, peace king, yes king. Come on, man. You sound like this sound like a sucker. Man, where my money at? If I pay you for something and you don't deliver within the first week, where's my money at? And there's 398 of you watching. Guys, it's free to like the video. Just like it. It's free to like or dislike it, but it's free to do so. This is a joke, man.
My flight held up, and this was again on December the 19th. And December the 20th, I messaged him, peace fam, I'm off work early, so I'm free for the rest of the day. He never messaged me back. The 20th, the 23rd, peace fam, we got a link when you get time to build. He never messaged me back. All the way up to the 26th. I saw the video, the live, he did a video, not going to 2020 broke, from I seen the video, basically saying, I'm sorry, I'm ready, like, let's get on it, you're talking in the video, I paid for it, like, I know there might be some people in line in front of me, but, let's get on it, I paid you $3,400, like, I'm ready for something. He said, that I know, and we already started your work, I call you inside an hour and a half, boom, I ain't lying. That's them gray up there with a P next to his name and something. But I hope y'all can see this. Once again, I'm gonna have to post the most. I ain't gonna post all the messages afterwards. I'm gonna post the most relevant ones so y'all can see I wasn't lying. And then he said he would call me inside an hour and a half, and that was on the 23rd. He never called me, of course. 27th, peace fam. I know you be busy, so it's possible to get one of the team members to give me a call. Just need to hear something. Reason I'm asking this is because he say he got team members like Lawan, the guy who be doing the trusting videos with him, and supposedly other people like maybe Melly Abreu, the lady who I sent him money to. That's one of his wives. Even though his wives work with him and do shit. So that's what I'm thinking, right?
Guys, this don't make any sense. Just listen to what he's saying. It doesn't make any sense. And I have people making videos about me calling me a scammer. I get called a scammer because people give me a $20 donation or a $10 donation. Think about that. I get called a scammer because I get a donation because I'm sitting here giving you information, teaching you about why you want to invest in gold and silver, why you want to invest in different crypto projects. And I get called a scammer. And you can actually come to my video and I can show you something and teach you something and I get called a scammer. Yet they were no problem. He will scrounge up the money, find it anywhere. $1,500 here, $1,300 here to give this man $3,500. See, this is a lottery ticket mentality. See, he's willing to give Polight this money, allegedly, because of this. See, he's going to give Polight this because he wants this. He wants these women. He wants these cars. This is why these young men will give this man money. They want this. They don't want to. They don't want to sit around. They don't want to sit down and do this, right? He'll give Polight that money easy for that, right? But if I tell you that you're gonna have to sit down on this site right here and spend 2-3 hours a day going over information and learning, you don't want to. That takes too much work, right? Right? That takes too much work. If I tell you you want to learn about coding, go through these 30 lectures, these 38 lectures. You want to learn how to program, go through these 38 lectures. Nah, they don't want to hear that. They want to hear about the status correction and the UCC and the BCC from the fifth dimension with the ancestors, Mama Oya. That's what they want to hear. They want to hear about that polygamy. How many women can I get? How many wives can I get? Right? I want the gold shoes. They don't want to talk. They don't want to talk about coding, blockchains, right? They don't want to talk about that kind of stuff. No, they want, where the women at, right? Where the half naked women at? Where the hoes at? That's what they want to hear. Where the polygamy at? Where the Rolls Royce at? Where the wives at? I'm gonna go to the Breakfast Club. Let's talk about some white supremacy, right? This is what they want. This is what they want. Right? This is what they want right here. This is what they want to see. They don't want to talk about the work. They don't want to put the work in, man. Where the hoes at? That's what they want. Where the gold shoes, where the hoes, and where the Laker games at? Because I want to hang with Floyd Mayweather. I want to go sit with 50. That's what they want. So this is why you get scammed. They don't want to sit down and do no work and educate yourself. I've been following this guy. I took one of his courses and I went and purchased a real estate deal using the information that I learned here. I went and did a real estate deal with this information. I know multiple people who I've referred and who have taken this course and they love the course and they've learned something. And you can see what you're learning. And he's consistent. Every single week he has live streams for his students. And you sit there and you learn. And people take this information and they go and do something with it. You can see over 360 high quality lectures to enable your mastery of real estate. And it's there. Bello Gino, thank you for the donation. Easier to scam him than to convince him that he's been scammed because they've been hypnotized and too lazy to research. Exactly. And this course is only $487. Think about this. For allegedly what Polight charged him to learn about the UCC from the BCC from ancient Kemet, he could have taken that $3,500 and he could have got all of Meet Kevin's courses for less than $3,500. Think about this now. I really want you to think about that for a second. He could have taken all of Meet Kevin's courses for less than $3,500. For less than $3,500, he could have taken all of Meet Kevin's courses. But see, this requires work right here. This requires work. And these brothers don't want to do no work. Look at this is Ike Speaks attorney Al Shabazz. She's been highlighting and documenting this right here, the fraud allegedly that Polight's been committing. It's been going on for years now, and it's going to keep going on. Because you men need to wake up, man. It takes work to be successful. And especially when you black. Guys, guys, we know about the racial wealth gap. We know about our position economically as far as where we are. We don't have time to be playing no games. Thank you, Dream Out Loud, for the donation, Gold Shoes donation. Guys, we don't have time. We don't have time to be playing no games. Right? You don't have time for this foolishness. You don't have time for this. We know what the data say by 2053. You don't got no time to be out here playing no games, trying to chase after some half-naked women in Rolls Royces. When I talk to you about practical things you can do. I don't talk to you about getting rich. Right? I talk to you about building wealth that's a time game. We're talking about 10, 15, 20 years. We're not talking about, no, you're going to take a course and then after that you're just going to get rich. Look at this. He's selling you. He's selling you that hip-hop lifestyle. That's what he's selling you. Look what he's selling you. Women. Alcohol. Women. Traveling. Women. Bathing suits. Come on, man. Grow up, yo. This is sad. Like, when are you gonna grow up and say, listen, I want to put some work in. I want to read some books. I want to go sit down and get some lectures. And then I want to build with you and find out what you investing in. How much it costs to invest in this. I want to get a side hustle and learn how to build and code and build websites and make applications or program on a blockchain or make my own blockchain. That's the kind of stuff I want to learn. Like Andre Boyce said, for $3,500 a text, you can send Polight on the next trip and fix his hairline. Please act now. Come on, man, grow up.
And then I got fired from my job. Yes, I got fired from my job. And I was like, I gotta tell this nigga, like, his wildest work would have been doing shit, so that's what I'm thinking, right? And then I got fired from my job. Yes, I got fired from my job. And I was like, I gotta tell this nigga, like, yo, hey, bro, I got fired from my job, and I want to know, is this gonna fit what we got going on? Because I already paid you and blah, blah, blah. And he just takes me back. Wow, we cooking, though. 2020 with some little out, like the look eyes, vision, don't put yourself down. And I said, I appreciate the words. Appreciate your words. I would do my best. Yeah, for those y'all can see that. And yeah, that was the 30th, December 30th. Then on the 1st, I reached out to him and asking him, Peace King, want to know when we're gonna start the mentorship. He makes me back. This on the second, I was still following his live streams to trying to catch him. So I asked him, should I still get the the Vonage box and all, for people who watch the class, the line, the UPS box and the email like he was telling me to do. He messaged me back, said you still need to. And then I was messaging him about the type of mailbox, and he actually messaged me back, so I'm thinking everything's still good. Okay. And there was a discrepancy. I was like, hey, I'm looking for this Vonage box, but it's asked for address to mail the hardware. Won't this conflict with the new me? I'm looking at the Vonage, and they ask for the address to mail the hardware to. Won't this conflict with me having the new UPS address? I'm walking in the methods you gave me, meaning phone first, second email, third.
Now again, first of all, see what I'm trying to say? If you're paying for mentorship and there's a website and there's courses on, like for example, like with Meet Kevin, I don't have to speak to Meet Kevin once I buy this course. Excuse me. I don't have to speak to Meet Kevin after I buy this course because all of the information that I need is in the course. You're watching a YouTube presentation where this guy's giving you surface level information and then you're trying to piece it together. That's just a template, right? That's like the intro. You should have an access to a website and the lectures in the website, like it says right here, Meet Kevin, over 360 high quality lectures to enable your mastery of real estate. I don't have to ask any questions. I can simply go and watch the videos and do it. So that right there shows me that he doesn't even know what he's buying. He doesn't really even know what he's investing in. Because if you knew, you wouldn't have to ask. You would just do.
Box. Once again, for those who was watching this video, you know what I'm talking about. If you have been watching his conscious mentorship videos where he was going live, then you probably won't know what I'm talking about. For those who watch him and be able to vouch. And he said, perfect. And I'm like, I think you misunderstood, bro. I'm saying that I'm trying to figure something out. Anyway, he told me he would call me this evening. And evening went by, he didn't call. I messaged him and I said, no call. And as y'all can see, it's been I've been seeing the dates. The time has been very sketchy. And he hasn't been able to he hasn't gotten in contact with me. So he finally makes this post saying that, hey, yo, my program is so good that everybody that paid for the $3,000, I want you to do a video saying your name, date, where you from, and this and the third, and post a video. And here's me doing the video, and I sent it to him, and obviously in the message. This is Untitled, right? Paid for the $3,500 mentorship course on December the 13th. Today's actually January the 11th. All right. So yeah, that's me saying. I just don't want everybody to hear where I live. I don't think I need to put that on there. But that's me sending him the video saying like, okay, yeah, I paid for this date, this and date, letting him know that like, I'm a real person. I know he probably getting scams. He say he getting bullshit emails and stuff all the time. So I'm trying to let him know I'm a real person. I paid this is the same number. Trying to get something. Didn't get nothing.
And see, this is how you know a lot of these brothers, they don't have any real life experience. Because for a lot of you who are on my email list, right? When you get an email from me, it's coming from it's coming from an actual website, right? It's an email that's attached to my domain name, right? It's a professional email. I'm not emailing you from a Gmail, right? Like if you join my mailing list, you get an email that's really attached to my domain name. And you can't just message me. It will automatically filter you to spam. If you tried to directly message my email address, it's going to automatically filter you to spam. Why? Because I haven't whitelisted your email. So when he says that to the brother, that he gets a lot of scam emails or spam emails, that's bullshit. It's flat out, it's bullshit. Because like right now, if you try to email me and you're not on my list, it's going to go straight to my spam for my business email or for my domain name, for my email that's linked to my domain name. I have to whitelist you and add you to my list for you to make it to my inbox. You're going to go straight to spam. So this is how you know the brother, and I don't want to put him down. This is tough love to make you grow and learn from this. Professional emails, it doesn't work like that. You can't just send me a spam email. Now, to a Gmail, or to a Yahoo, yeah. But no professional businessman that's selling you products and services should be using no damn Gmail. You shouldn't be using no Gmail. You should have a website that I can go to, a domain name, and the email address that you're messaging me from or messaging me at should be connected to the domain name. So you know for a fact that this is just janky stuff. And if this guy's dealing with celebrities as he say is, why is he dealing with guys like you for $3,500? Doesn't make any sense.
So it's January 12th. Peace, bro. I'm checking to see that you need my personal information and process. Never get nothing back. January 15th. That's 3 days later. So this time and these gaps I'm telling you about is inconsistent. Peace, bro. Is it possible that I may get to Brother Line, to talk about the program? I'm asking him this. And I said, also, I was left hanging 3 times. I was told someone would call me. My brother paid for the course and he got what he paid for. I influenced my brother to get the mentorship, the little course he was doing for like $150, and it was bullshit from what my brother told me. So, it is what it is. And I told him I'd been left hanging. I said, it's not fair, man. I haven't heard nothing from you, and you know we poor. That was an investment. Okay? And this was the 15th. So once again, I'm going to try to be very still so people can see this and maybe flip it. And still going to put it on the end. I said, okay, fam. This is January 18th now. 15, 3 days went by. Okay, fam. It's no longer working. I've been patient enough. Need a $3,500 refund. You know my name. And I was told I'm a real person. I'm not a troll. I've been nothing but respectful. I just need my money back. And I can see on here where he's reading all my messages. I don't know if you know that, but it's very disrespectful. Like I said, I'm making this video to let people know. And then on January the 20th, he sends me a message and says, set up an identity IQ and share the name and the password with me. I do it. And he tell me to download these apps, WhatsApp, Kitco, Zillow, Go Live. He tell me to download these apps. I'm like, okay, maybe we're going to do something again. And I did it. And he said, got it. And yeah. And so here's me again on the 27th. I'm asking him about my credit. Monday, January 27th, nothing. January 30th, Peace Bro message you again. You know, make sure y'all see I ain't lying. So there's the January 27th one right there. And then there's the January 30th one. You know, what about the restoration process, man? You know, nothing. Then the February 2nd, you know, I'm just fed up. And I'm like, because I'm looking at my credit report because I'm monitoring in the meantime to see, like, you know, is I'm going to randomly see my credit score go up because that's what you're supposed to be doing. And it didn't. And I messaged him. I said, hey, man, my damn credit score is going down instead of up. A new item was just added. Look, man, I don't know what's going on, but you're not delivering for $3,500, man. It's ridiculous. After you ignored me for a month and a half after I paid, which you did after I paid. Go back to the dates that I've been sending. It's over a month and a half. It's February now, dude. It's February the 18th. Yeah, he gave me nothing. He ain't called me back. He ain't made no initiation since then. I don't want any service anymore. I want a refund, man. I don't trust you anymore. This is what I'm messaging him. Like, I'm literally messaging him just like because, you know, we're dealing with each other on a personal level since that's the way this business is supposed to be run. Anyway, so I'm not ignoring you. I have been busy during this time on account to the Super Bowl. Do you know how unacceptable that is to tell somebody that I can't make you money because I'm busy partying? If I were to do business just for, say, what a white man or a Chinese man or a self-respecting black man for that matter, that values the integrity of his business, he wouldn't tell you, hey, bro, I can't complete our business deal on account to I'm at the Super Bowl. Like, and then, once again, these are real messages. Like, why would you say that to somebody? It's like you tricking off money, but you can help me make my money. Obviously, before I get to the point where I know that he's scamming me. Why? Anyway.
Yo, again, guys, I don't want to beat the brother up. I need to think of the right words to say because I really want to go in right now, and I don't want to be mean and belittle the brother because you can tell he's not that savvy when it comes to business. Let me explain something to you. If I take $1 from you, I have a fiduciary responsibility to you. I have a responsibility to deliver the product or service that I said I was going to deliver to you. And if I can't deliver the product or service, if I have some type of a circumstance that pops up in my life that requires me to not be able to render that product or service to you, I then refund you your money. That's how legitimate, honest businessmen do business. As I just said to you before, if you have a brain, there's 24 hours in a day. If the man has to sleep 8 and he has to be a husband and a father to his children and his wives, he doesn't have enough time to be educating himself and staying on top of the market and being able to mentor you. So that right there should have told you enough right there to not. And see, when I look at this brother's shirt, you know, when I really want to go in on the brother, but I'm not. I'm not going to go in on the brother. But you just at a certain point, man, you gotta use a little bit of common sense, and that's why I named my channel "What Happened to Common Sense," man. Look at this. Does this look like a real estate investor? Does this look like a real estate investor to you, man? Does this look like a man that has time to sit up here and educate you? Does this look like a man that has time to really educate you? Come on, man. You guys, none of this is about real estate. Pictures of money, pictures of women, traveling. Troy Ave, another woman, more women, more women, more women, more cars, women. How? How the hell is he going? How the hell is he going? What can he teach you? Guys, let me show you something right here. Right? When I sit up here and I do research, every day when I look at a cryptocurrency, there's new news coming out. So now I got to sit up here and I got to analyze BlockFi. I got to look and pay attention to what's happened with DeFi. What's happening with Ethereum? Are they going to move to proof of stake? Then I got to look at Ripple. Does Ripple have something that I need to invest in? Then I got to educate myself about Tezos and the interest that they're paying on staking the coin. Right? And then I got to sit up here and then I got to educate myself about what's happening with the coronavirus and how that's going to impact the markets. Right? Should I be looking to swing trade and hold something for a few weeks? Should I be looking to try to do some options trading? Then I have to deal with one of my tenants. Then I have to deal with one of my clients. You think I have time to get on the phone and mentor you for an hour? You really think I have time that I can mentor you for an hour? I got to run my YouTube channel. Then I got to respond to people who's emailing me. Then I got to edit videos. Then I have to keep up with my bills, right? I got to pay my rent. I got to pay my car insurance. I got to remember to pay my light bill. I got to remember to pay my life insurance, right? Credit cards. There's not enough time. Any person with a brain can see that and say there's not enough time in the day for that. Now, this is the man who's telling you he can cure. I've heard him say on videos before, he knows how to cure, diabetes and all these different problems. So not only is he into health and nutrition, not only is he running car dealerships, not only does he know about cryptocurrency, not only does he know about real estate, not only is he a celebrity mentor, not only does he have multiple wives, not only does he travel and go to basketball games, come on, at a certain point you got to say there's not enough time in the day to do all that. Cairo, amen too. It's just not. And any person with a brain can see that there's not enough time to do all of this. And thank you again for the donation. I just saw it again. Appreciate it. Come on, this is a joke.
He said
man.
Your credit score is not going to shoot up when you want it to. I did not add the new item to your report. That would be something based on something that you never told me about. This makes no sense. I said, okay, the credit score is not get to the point where I know that he's scamming me. Anyway, he said your credit score is not going to shoot up when you want it to. I did not add the new item to your report. That would be something based on something that you never told me about. This makes no sense. I said, okay, I respect you being busy, but I want to take my business elsewhere. Okay, give me my refund. How the heck are you getting at me for something these people are doing to you? These are the men he's mentioning. I'm like, bro, you a professional. Just give me my money back, bro. You rich. What you tripping my $3,500, man? That'll be something based on get to somebody. It's like you tricking off money, but you can't help me make my money. Obviously, before I get to the point where I know that he's scamming me, anyway, he said your credit score is not going to shoot up when you want it to. I did not add the new item to your report. That would be something based on something that you never told me about. This makes no sense. I said, okay, I respect you being busy, but I want to take my business elsewhere. Okay, give me my refund.
Thank you for the donation, Bellogino. Bellogino says, broke like other dude worse. Move across country to show for him and damn near his butler internet show you how really gullible people are. Yes, the crypto roots dude. I know exactly what you're talking about.
How the heck are you getting at me for something these people are doing to you? These are the men he's mentioning. I'm like, bro, you a professional. Just give me my money back, bro. You rich. What you You tripping about $3,500 for you rich, right? That's what I'm thinking. Like, just get my money back, bro. You're dealing with millionaires. It's been too long, bro. I just need a refund. He said, I initiated the process per our reconciliation and you letting these beasts turn you against me. If we just got started back, what is really taking too long? You really routed by these crazy. I will call you on top of the AM regardless to rectify the matter. The outcome way too loud over here. Respectfully. And then there's my...
So now you see how he start talking about beast and he start talking about wickedness, and now he's trying to make this a racial thing. You see how people, they use your pain. They use the pain that we going through. They're using real oppression that happens to us on a daily basis, and they're using that to manipulate you to get in your pocket. Which is why I said before, you got to educate yourself first. You got to love yourself first to not let people run this type of game on you. Because if you loved yourself, you wouldn't let no one run no game on you. This don't have nothing to do with no white supremacy. This don't have nothing to do with race or racism. This has to do with the fact that I paid you for a service and you haven't delivered it. And if you can't deliver it, you return the money back. If you get swamped with too much work, you give the money back. I don't care about how many wives you have. I don't care about how many times you've been to prison with celebrity. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about people's personal lives. I care about I trusted you enough to buy a product from you and you haven't delivered it. I'm telling you, man, especially you black men, man, you got to stop worshiping these people, man. Come on.
My response at the bottom. But I'm like, he just made an excuse to not give me my money back. That's really what he's doing. And then I tried to message him on February the 4th, and I was trying to tell him, like, I'm stressing, bro, because I'm broke. I gave you $3,500 and blah, blah, blah. And when you, lo and behold, I look, and this man has blocked me on Messenger. And then he unblocked me so I could send him a message because I emailed him and told him that he blocked me. I want y'all to see this. Can y'all see that message right there? It says, pre-message receiver 818-626-7262. Unable to receive message. Message blocking is active. And then at that, I just flipped. And I said, bro, you a bitch for all the scamming you done. And all this shit is going to catch up with you. And nothing can save you from the physical and spiritual karma that's coming to you. And that's just what it is. I had to leave. I had to make this video because I know there's other innocent people just like me that may think, that because this brother is smart, which he definitely is because he's fooled people.
What is he smart? People keep saying that Polight is smart, right? I would say he's crafty. I would say he's witty. What when you say a person is smart, like what has he built? Like what makes, like, allegedly he didn't write any of the books he say he's written. Like, he doesn't own any real estate projects and stuff like that. Like, I'm not gonna say he's dumb, but why do people think he's so smart? Why? Cause he can beat up on a bunch of Hebrews about the Bible? What makes him smart? I really want a person to tell me, like, what makes him like super smart. Like tell me what makes him so smart? I really want to know. I want to know, what has he built?
That he has good intentions, or he's going to actually flip your money, or maybe he just picked certain people that he want to do good and he don't want to do good to others. I don't know. I'm just letting you know my experience. He didn't do shit for me. There's a bunch of proofs that I already said in the video. And let's see, and then here's all the freaking payments. 578. There's all the proof of all the freaking payments. So I sent the dummy. Sent him $3,500 like a dummy. And I didn't get nothing in return for it, people. And I just had to put this on this to share it with people because, people deserve to know, man, that you fall for the stuff that you're doing. And, you cannot sit here and be paid money in November and it be February and you don't be calling and contacting people back and making excuses and saying that you're at the Super Bowl. And people...
No, he does that because he knows that you would fall for that and go, oh, he's at the Super Bowl, my dude Polight holding it down. Let me explain something to you. I use this analogy all the time. The reason why the PC market the reason why the personal computer, right, especially Microsoft, they used to dominate the computer market was because They were all about the PC master race, right? Thank you for the donation again, Bello Gino. They were all about making powerful computers, and it was complicated, and only really nerds knew how to use personal computers. And the definition of a person who's a genius, who is a person who can take something that's complex, that's very hard to do, and they can simplify it for the average person. They can break down complexity, not make things more complex. See, whenever you see a person who tries to make things more complex, like if you ask them a simple question, and they go, oh, what's the etymology of the word blue? What's the root word? What's the Latin version of the word blue? Because do you know back in ancient Kemet, the letter B didn't even exist. We created the letter B. And you like, oh, he's dropping knowledge because he said a whole bunch of nothing. Because he asked you the etymology of the root word and all of that in the Latin version. And see, these brothers get turned on by that. But to me, I'm saying to myself, that has no context in the conversation. See, Steve Jobs was a genius because what Steve Jobs said was that I'm going to make a computer where the average person can just pull the computer out the box, turn it on, and it works. The amount of engineering that goes into your Apple devices is genius. That's genius. But you don't see all that. You just see your computer and you turn it on and it works. The amount of software and engineering that goes into FaceTime and your messages and how the apps can work with each other. That's genius. But you don't have to be a genius to use it. And you can be creative and build things without having to know all the technical stuff. That's genius. Somebody talking to you about the etymology of the root word and going back to ancient Kemet and Mesopotamia, talking about the ants. That shit's there that's there to confuse you. That's there to bamboozle you. That's there to get you to let your guard down. So, there's 400 of you watching the video. Please like the video. With that being said, I'm going to take a few questions now, and we'll go to 11 o'clock. So let's see what's going on in the chat. Peace out to the brother, man. I really wish him the best. I didn't really want to beat him up, but what I would encourage you to do, my brother, and I mean this, and I'm not being funny, I'm going to give you some advice. First thing first is, you live in the information age. You have a cell phone. These websites are free. Go to the open courses and go learn about some. They even have business courses on here. Harvard, Yale has open courseware. Go and learn some skills, man, for free. For free. Go and learn some stuff. You want to learn how to code? You want to learn about business terms? Go and learn this stuff for free. Number 2, whenever you're buying a product or service for a person, go and watch them and see what do they have to offer. This guy talks about real estate, right? And his whole entire page is about real estate. He's a real estate investor. He puts money in the things that he talks to you about, right? So when I talk to you about gold and silver, I show you the gold coins and the silver coins that I own and gold bars. I talk to you about crypto. I can show you the crypto projects that I'm invested in. I can show you what I do, not tell you, right? Real talk, I'm gonna cover that in a second about Virgin Galactic. I haven't really looked into it, but I heard that they're selling they are selling tickets to, what is it, the moon or Mars? I'm not exactly sure. I really couldn't give you an answer off the top of my head, to be honest with you. I really might have to go look into it. I don't want to speak and just to speak. What I will do is I'm going to write that down right now, and I'll promise you when I go live, either tomorrow or the following day, that will be the first thing I address. Real talk. I'm going to write that down in my notes so I don't forget it. I will write that down in my notes, and when I make my next live stream, I will address it. Real talk. Let me write that down. Thank you for the donation too, of Virgin Galactic. I don't have I briefly know about it, about them selling trips to, I think, the moon or Mars, but I don't know too much about it. I would have to look into it, but I promise you 100% I will definitely address it. But guys, there's too much information out here, and when because I get called a scammer all the time because people willingly donate to me, and I was thinking about making a Patreon or building a a membership site, and I was going to charge like $20 for it, something like that, something small, but really put the content there, because you can't put that type of content on YouTube. Number one, I spent thousands of dollars on the information that I know. I'm not going to just give it away for free. I'll give surface level information away, but I'm not going to give like the deep technical stuff about crypto projects, analyzing products, investing in projects. I'm not going to do that for free. And I got called a scammer. But yet you'll see dudes, they'll give Polight $3,500, $100,000 for nothing. The man has no website, no nothing. Like literally just off of his live streams, But this is what they're investing in. They want the women, they want the cars. And this is what they constantly see. Another great video, No Light has Meta World Peace real good. He got Meta World Peace real good. I think that's what you're trying to say. Brother Polight's part in Hidden Colors was hella weak. I didn't watch Hidden Colors, guys, so I wouldn't know. Excuse me. That won't matter in a depression. No one said it would matter in a depression. Game is to be sold, not told. Can Polight ever be stopped? No. I think that, first of all, look at the people who he's defrauding, right? Jersey 07018. He's defrauding people like this allegedly, right? We don't know if this is true because the brother sent the money to someone else, so I have to use my words wisely and say allegedly, right? Instead of him hopping on here and making this video, the very first thing he should have did after the first week was contacted his bank and got his money back. That's the very first thing he should have did. After 1 week went by and Brother Polight allegedly didn't do what he said he was going to do, the brother should have hopped on the phone, contacted his bank and said, hey, there's a fraudulent transaction that was made on my account, and got his money back. That's what a normal person would do. That's what a normal person would do. But people don't, they don't do that. And the next thing you would be doing is getting in contact with this attorney here who's building a case. Because the only people that's going to stop Polight is going to be the feds. Because, we have this no snitching culture as black people, right? We're not going to snitch. I'm not going to tell what's going on. I'm not no snitch. So you just let the brother take $3,500 from you. And you got a family. And you just lost your job. Brother, you just lost your job. You got a family. You should be going to get your money back. Contacting your bank. That's what I would do. I've purchased products before and the product wasn't any good. I've purchased products before and the person didn't deliver what they said he was going to do. And I contact my bank and I get my money back. So, I've done it. If you got ripped off by Polight, then you are a sucker. I see right through Polight. Yeah, any person with the brain can see that, the stuff that Polight talks about, business doesn't even work that way, Or, even Umar, like I said, guys, when you see me making my videos, you see that I'm in my office. You see that I don't say this to brag. I say this to keep it real with you. I invested in myself so that you can take me serious. Right? When a person's making a video in a park, or a person's making a video in a car, what they're telling, but they're claiming that they're trying to teach you that they're claiming that they're successful and they're trying to teach you. They don't respect your time to put together a good presentation for you. See, people who respect you, I respect you as a viewer. I'm respecting you as a viewer. That I want to give you a great viewing experience. So I'm going to invest in a good microphone. I'm going to invest in a good computer. I'm going to invest in good monitors. I'm going to make sure my house is clean and I don't flip my camera over and my house is junky, right? I'm investing in things to give you a quality experience because I want you to take me serious. When I watch Polight and I watch Umar, these guys are sitting in parks and making videos. They're in their car making videos. That's not something that I'm going to take serious. You think I'm going to give $100,000 to a guy that's sitting in his car making a video? Yelling at his phone? I'm going to give $100,000 to a guy and he can't show me a business plan? I'm gonna give 100 grand to a guy and he can't show me and break down how these assets have performed over the past 5-10 years. He can't provide me no documentation, but I gotta run those donations. See, people who are serious businessmen and women, people who are serious, the documentation, that's a must. You can't even get through the door without the credentials and the documentation. You can't even get, like, the type of people who I try to like solicit for business. You gotta have that type of, before they would even take a meeting with you to allocate money to you. That type of stuff got to be on the table from the door. How you going to run a school? You don't have a board of directors. You don't have a mission statement. You don't have any accreditation or nothing, but you're talking about building a school and people got to donate. You don't have no infrastructure in place. How you running a business? You don't have an LLC. You don't got a C corporation. You don't got an S corp. No entity. How you building a school? You don't even have tax exempt status. And don't talk to me about the white man system and all of that. Man, listen here. You have to play by the rules in which the game you are playing. I can't go play a basketball game and say I want to play by the football rules. You live in America. There are rules that you have to follow to play within this system. If you're starting a school, there's certain things that have to be in place. If you're conducting a business and you're mentoring people, there's certain things that have to be in place. Like if I put together something, before I took a dime from people, the videos would be recorded, the schedule would be put in place, the website would be up and running, and everything would be plug and play. You don't sell someone something and then come to them and say, "Oh, hey, I'm at the Super Bowl. Oh, hey, my wife is giving birth." When you take people's money, they don't care about that. You are beholden to the people who gave you money. That's professionalism. This is a joke, man. And people say, "Oh, you come up here and you just said," I'm not attacking people. I'm teaching you how you think about things, how you analyze businesses and analyze people, and look through the BS. And you can listen to a person and see, do they know what the hell they're talking about? Are they serious? Or are they just trying to get you the next lick? He sized you up from the beginning to see how much money you had. What was your credit score like? And he also does that to see, do you have the ability to come after him? Allegedly. Can you build a community? Strong alpha males. And he's not even a strong alpha male. No light is a mark in the dark. Excuse me, in Starbucks, shaking my head. He looking for strong alpha males. The conscious community is a real trip. Joke. The internet in general, guys, I've been a part of companies like Wake Up Now that ended up being a scam. I was a part of another company called Empower Network that ended up being a scam. Bro, get spell check. He is a predator. I'm blocking this person. I try to give this person time. He's out of here. He is a predator. I don't condone violence. I got rid of him. He's out of here. I got rid of him. He's just been spamming the chat over and over and over again. I might as well do one sitting on the toilet, You're a professional, Eli. These guys are always in parking lots, parks, and in their cars. Yeah, and it's just sad. It's sad that you see that, but it's just sad that a lot of you don't take it serious. Andre Boyce said, Polight understands once he defrauds his victims, they don't have money to even litigate. Plus, they can't say they sent it to him directly. Plus, his PayPal's been shut down. Exactly, Andre Boyce, and that's the biggest part of the problem, Andre Boyce. That's the biggest part of the problem. Is that the people who he's defrauding, number one, he knows because of this no snitching culture, most of them are not going to go to the police. Number two, he can spin it off allegedly and say, hey, that was just a donation. You sent the money to my Cash App. That was just a donation. Or, hey, he donated to my wife. That don't got nothing to do with me. That's part of the game. When you're doing business, man, you need to be doing business with reputable merchants, right? And you need to be doing business with people who who you're doing business with, right? If I buy a product from you, I want the minute I pay for the product, The website and everything should be set up. I should receive a confirmation email saying I got the product. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said the Empower Network was a scam. Yeah, I purchased the blog. And then after that, I was like, why do I have to pay for a blog when I can get a WordPress blog for free? You know, I was really paying for the education, the information. But then you realize the things they were teaching you in Empower Network, you can find for free on the internet. So, Patahota said, Ultra Facts. I used to spend time on Pornhub, but now I know a few programming languages. I'm worthy to the tech world. Yeah, but that's how it should be. And like I said before, you know, I give you guys information that you can do something with, man. So when people say, oh, you just sitting up here gossiping, that's just them talking. I give you guys information that you can do stuff with. As I said before, go on this site and play with stuff and go learn things that you can do something to. Somebody said, oh, you too. Why are people still getting ripped off by Polight? He's been exposed years ago. It's because, again, a lot of people want a free lunch. A lot of people don't want to put the work in. As I said before, to go through this course, it's going to take you 4 months. To learn how to program in Python and learn about computer science is going to take you 4 months, maybe 6 months, 4 to 6 months to really grasp this information. But I promise you, if you go through this free course and you take the time out, I guarantee you'll have a skill that you can go out to in the marketplace and make money. When I was putting together my trading system, I went on to a Ninja Trader. They have like a ecosystem where you can find people who will program for you. And I needed someone to build me my indicators for my trading system. I paid the guy $5,000. I didn't know what color he was. I didn't know how he looked. But he had the skills in Python and I forgot the other computer language that I needed at the time. I didn't know how to program in that language. And this guy, he said he can have the app done for me and the indicators done for me in less than 2 weeks. And he had it done for me in 2 weeks. And he made $5,000 from me. That's the power of knowing how to code. People don't need to know what color you are. You can just advertise your projects and things and your services that you built. Go and get some skills. Go to Coursera. That's another place that you can go and get certifications from. Udemy, you can go get courses from there. You don't got to go to some guy because he's black. And because he can talk about the Medu Neter and ancient Kemet, right? Is it a good time to invest? It depends what you're investing in, guys. Me personally, I'm putting most of my monies in gold and precious metals, mining stocks, and I get paid dividends. So, you know, and most of those stocks, they haven't really appreciated that much in this latest boom. I like cash flowing assets. And I have money. Most of my money is in crypto. Most of my money is in crypto and gold and silver mining stocks, because that's where I see the value at. Because I know that these governments are going to continue to create inflation. They're going to continue to keep printing money. And that's where I want to have my money at. So, you know, that's where I want to be. But again, you know, this may not turn out to be a pandemic. This may just turn out to be a small epidemic. But I'm going to be honest with you. From my analysis, and this isn't financial advice, this is just from my perspective, you should not be making investment decisions based upon what I say. I wouldn't be buying any stocks right now. I wouldn't touch any stocks right now. The supply chain, I broke it down to you guys, and I showed you what's going to happen with the supply chains. Going back to this article where we were talking about what's happening in the hospitals. You know, when you see stuff like this, the mask shortage highlights just how dependent the United States healthcare system is on goods from China. The entire global economy is dependent upon China. The entire economy is dependent upon the global economy is dependent upon China. And if we see a 30 or 60 day slowdown, you have to really start thinking about like Apple. Apple's already saying that they're not going to be able to produce enough iPhones because of the shutdown that's happening in Foxconn. You're seeing Disney say that they're about to take a $280 million hit if the theme parks stay closed down for 60 days. You're seeing the movie industry, the box office. They're saying that at this time period they had earned 1.9 billion, and now they're down to 3.4 million. Like, this is going to have a sustained impact. Now, That doesn't mean that it's going to send us into a recession, but it's definitely going to impact a lot of these stocks. And you can see a 10 to 15% drop in the stock market. I don't think right now is the time that I would be buying. I would wait another month and really wait to see what materializes, because we know that the supply chain is going to be impacted. We also know that if things get worse, they can't just make a vaccine. As I said earlier, hopes to get a vaccine to the market are high, but doctors want expectations to be low for how quickly it can happen. Developing, testing, and reviewing any potential vaccine is a long, complex, and expensive endeavor that can take months or even years, global health experts say. This is going to impact our supply chain, and there's just no way that you can, get around it. And that's just the honest truth. Because so much of our goods and services are made over in China. And see, this is the problem with climate change, globalization, and deindustrializing your country. Because now you're dependent upon what happens in China. And if there's a black swan event like this and their goods and services are contaminated, it's going to be a problem. And think about Amazon. Think about how many retailers or people who make pieces or parts for different electronics companies, or make wires or bathing suits, like wedding dresses. I was reading today that they said that there's going to be a shortage in wedding dresses because over 89% of the wedding dresses that people actually wear during their weddings come from China. So I wouldn't mess with, if you're a beginner, you should not be trying to short stocks. Like a lot of that takes skill to be able to time the market in short or buy puts in the market, banking on the market going down. And I would encourage people who are new to not mess with that type of stuff. But yes, you can. I spoke about that the other day, about people like Michael Burry from the movie The Big Short, and I encourage you guys to go and watch the movie The Big Short. Michael Burry and a few other guys, they made billions of dollars shorting the housing market back in 2008. The problem is that takes skill, that takes capital, and for most people, it's hard to be a short seller. Like, look at the short sellers in Tesla; they're getting destroyed, right? Tesla, they start shorting Tesla at $300, and Tesla bounced all the way up to $900. So you have to be smart. So seamstresses in the U.S. should start sewing. Polight is a grifter, not news. It's not that it's not news. It's the fact that people are losing their money. So it's news when people are losing money. And then also you have to understand is that black people in general, let me not even say black people. Let me take that back. People in general are attracted to drama. So what I like to do is I like to use this type of drama to bring people in, but then give you some information that you can take this information and go and do something with, right? So for those young brothers out here who are looking at a Polight or thinking about investing in a Polight, I want to give them an alternative and say, hey, there's free resources out here that you can educate yourself about business. Or there's cheaper alternatives, like a person like a Meet Kevin, where you can spend $487 and learn from a person who's a verified millionaire, not a person who's pretending, to be a millionaire with the ancestors. So I like to use this to teach and to give people practical solutions to their problems, and not give people, a whole bunch of hype and fluff, and not talk about the millionaire boot camp and all that. No, refer you to resources that can actually help you, and help you not just make money, but get some skills, because that's one of the biggest problems with a lot of you is you don't have skills. But I wouldn't be touching any stocks right now, guys. You have to take a wait and see approach, because I really believe that this is going to take a few percentage points off of China's GDP, and that's going to have tidal waves and an impact on the overall global economy, because China is the second largest economy in the world, and you just can't get around that. And now we're starting to see cases that are spreading in San Francisco and California. So you have to think about that. Like, what happens if we see stuff like this happening? Let me pull this up for you guys. I didn't even get a chance to do that. Like, what if we start seeing stuff like this where is it? I had it in here earlier. Thought I had it in here. Yeah. What if we start seeing stuff like this over here in the States? Right? What if we start seeing shelves empty like this in the States? You know, what is that going to do to our economy, to, you know, GDP, to consumer sentiment, if the shelves are bare for extended periods of time because we can't get supplies from, you know, supply manufacturers, right? Like, you know, what our lines start getting like this. This is in Italy right now. This isn't even in China. This is in Italy. Right? You have to think about this. What is this going to do to corporations? What is this going to do to the employers? What is this going to do to employees who are going to be able to work for an extended period of time? You know, you have to think about this. You have to think about this type of stuff. You know, this is happening in Italy right now as we speak. And now remember, Trump's entire re-election bid is going to be based off of the stock market, right? Because the economy is not thriving. We know that. I've highlighted that in multiple videos, that the economy is just not doing well for everyday Americans. It's doing well for the top 1%, but it's not doing well for everyday Americans. You know, like this is in China right now. They're just snatching people up. You know, this type of stuff is this is serious stuff. So you have to start asking yourself, what is this going to do to the overall economy if we start seeing slowdowns like this? You know, and I explain this stuff to you guys, not to make you afraid, but get prepared. Get on, you know, people are about getting on code. Get on code for yourself. Make sure that you got at least 2 weeks worth of water in your house. Make sure you have you some canned goods, flashlights for batteries, right? So you don't, because think about it, right? Let's start being three-dimensional thinkers. If there's a virus, the last place I want to be if there's a virus is in a supermarket around a bunch of people. Right? If there's a virus, the last thing I want to do is have to go outside and potentially risk getting infected to go get goods and services, and potentially risk coming back home and getting my family sick. Right? So these are things that you have to think about. Like, you got to really take the time out to, you know, educate yourself about these things and make sure that you're prepared. And this is why you want to have gold and silver. Right? Because these are assets that are outside of the traditional banking system. This is why you want to own cryptocurrencies, because it's permissionless, it's borderless. Your bank can shut down, your bank can have a bank holiday. If there's a bank run, because we know banks don't have enough reserves to pay everyone, they can have a bank holiday. Well, what if you can't get no cash out? Right? So you have to start thinking about these things. These are things that you have to really, you know, educate yourself on. Right? Self-preservation is the highest form of elevation. I learned that when I was in the nation with my dad. You know, like, they always preach that. You have to think about this type of stuff. You don't wait till stuff happens to get prepared. You get prepared before stuff happens. Master Drop, the beat on me, says 6 months of food for each person in your family. You know, like, these are things that you need to, you know, start thinking about and being prepared. Because, see, one thing about when you have a lot of these efficient markets, there's not a lot of slack in the market, right? So this disruption could be even worse because most of these companies are operating lean. Like, they're bringing in just enough milk for everyone because of data, right? These companies have data, so they know how much milk they should have, how much cereal they should have. Well, that's when things are going well. But if we get one of these shocks and everybody runs and goes and cleans out the shelves, well, these companies, they don't have enough slack to make up for that. And there's not enough manufacturing here to make the goods and services. And they can't import it from China because, you know, the coronavirus can live on the surface of products and goods and services. So they're not going to be able to ship stuff. So you can see shelves be empty for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. I spoke about this the other day, G-Dep. You won't be able to use crypto if there's a power outage, right? Let's just be honest. It would be very hard to use it. You won't be able to use the ATM either if there's a power outage. See, I said this the other day, and I'm not beating up on you, G-Deb, so don't think I'm coming at you sideways or anything. But a lot of people like to play the what if game. If we're at the point where the power is out, you have more important things to worry about than whether or not your cryptocurrency works. Now you have to stop thinking about communication. Well, if the power's out, you can't charge You're not going to be able to really charge your computers. You're not going to be able to charge unless you have generators, right? And most people don't have generators, or generators can't last that long. So your ATMs are not going to work. You're not going to be able to keep your food cool. If it's the summertime, it's going to be very hot. So you're going to have more important things to worry about, like protecting yourself. See, if you have a situation like that, I want land, I want shelter, I want guns, and I want food. That's what I want, right? I'm not worried about crypto at that point. If we get to the point where we're in martial law, or we get to the point where the grid is down, I could care less about cryptocurrency. We're in survival mode then. I don't care about gold and silver then. Gold and silver is an insurance policy against inflation. It's not about the end of the world. It's an insurance policy against inflation, right? That's what a lot of you miss that part when people talk about that. Like, that's a hedge against inflation. Another thing I talk about, I wanted to show you. I was speaking about this the other day about why you want to own cryptocurrency. And some of you guys who watched the video the other day, you've seen this already, but there's new people coming in, so I want to show them. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up for you. 1 second. This is why you want to have cryptocurrency, digital assets. Let's pull up this thing, right? Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up for you. So this right here is a bank run. Right now, the people in China, they want to go get money out the bank. We know that banks do fractional reserve lending. So for every $100 you put in, banks can loan out up to 90%. I did a breakdown of that the other day. So we know that banks don't have enough reserves on hand. If everyone goes to the bank at one time and tries to take their money out, there's not enough money to pay everyone. So when panics like this happen and you have thousands of people showing up to the bank at one time and they want to get their money out, well, this is why I want to have crypto. Because if I have cryptocurrency, I don't have to worry about a centralized entity like my bank telling me I can't get my money. No, I can put my money on my ledger and I can get out the country. I can take my wealth with me in my hand on a little small device. See, there's different trade-offs for different types of money. Fiat money has its pros and cons. Cryptocurrency has its pros and cons. Gold and silver has its pros and cons. You have to get to the point where you start thinking and being diversified, right? The purpose of crypto is it's mobile. I can put $1 million on my ledger and I'm out. It's permissionless, it's borderless, and I can convert BTC to euros. I can convert BTC to yen. I can convert BTC to USD. I get in and I get out. So different money or currencies have different values and different value propositions. Now, again, like I said before, if we're in an all-out zombie apocalypse, all that economic stuff goes out the window, right? But you can't tell me, you know, and for a lot of you guys who watch the stream every day, you've seen a lot of these things that I'm showing, but there's new people, and I like to take the time out to educate people, you know. Give me 1 second. Let me pull up this chart for you, because I know some of you want to know what I'm talking about. Downloads. 1 second. I'll pull up what I was doing. This is the purchasing power of the dollar, right? When you look at a dollar back in 1913 and you compare the purchasing power of your dollar from 1913 to 2013, you've lost over 90% of the value of your money, right? It's still a dollar, but the dollar buys less. That's known as inflation. So I want to own gold and silver because I want to hedge against inflation, because I see that the government's running a $23 trillion deficit. If you go and you look at the debt clock, right, the debt clock continuously keeps rising over and over again. I'll pull that up as well. You know, for some of you, right, this is your purchasing power of your dollar. You're losing value every single day. I mean, if you simply come here and you go, right? You look at the debt clock, right? This thing doesn't stop ticking. It's $23 trillion. Right? So gold and silver is a hedge against inflation. Because if I leave my money parked in the bank, it's going to lose value. On average, your money loses 3% per year in purchasing power. So that's why I want gold and silver. I want to maintain and preserve my purchasing power. If I'm working for money, I want my money to be able to buy the same thing it can buy today, 5 years from now. The purpose of crypto is it's mobile, it's borderless, it's outside of the banking system. So if I go to my bank and they have a bank holiday, I don't have to wait. Was the thing I had right here, right? I don't have to be on this crazy line, trying to get my money. I don't have to deal with all these people and risk getting infected. I load my money up on my ledger and I'm out, and I have my BTC. Right? This is important stuff. Make sure you educate yourself about these things. And there's 337 of you watching this, guys. Hit that like button. So this is why I take the time out to educate you guys about this stuff. Knowing about the debt clock. This is all debt monetization. This is all money that's printed out of thin air. I broke it down the other day, but I'll show you guys one more time before we get ready to wrap this up. Give me 1 second. I spoke about this the other day. Let's erase this. Give me 1 second. I'll flip this over. I like to take the time out to, educate you guys about what's really going on, right? So I'll give you a real quick breakdown. This is what is known as fractional reserve banking. So when I say that banks, they don't hold money. Like when you go to Chase and you deposit $100, give me 1 second. Let me erase this. Highlighter. When you go to Chase and you deposit $100, okay, you put your $100 in there. Because of fractional reserve banking, this is legal. They only have to hold 10% of the actual deposit. They can take the other 90% and loan it out. Literally, they can take your money and loan it to other people. So Chase says, okay, because most people don't come to take their money out at one time, right? Most people just leave their money in the bank. They only hold $20 of your deposit and they go out and loan $80 of your money out and they charge interest. So they just created an asset out of thin air. And then that $80 ends up into Wells Fargo. And Wells Fargo does the same thing. They go and they only hold $16 and they loan out $64. And then this money goes into Bank of America. That's $64. And then they hold 12 and they loan it out. And they keep doing this process over and over and over and over again. There's so much leverage in the system to the point where they create, in total, there's $446.31 that's deposited. They're counting this as deposits. And they're only holding $100 in reserves. And they created $346 in loans out of thin air. This is what is known as the boom and bust cycle. So now these loans that are being created out of thin air, this entire side right here, that's being counted as assets on their balance sheets. This is mortgages. This is car loans. This is credit cards. That's just been created out of thin air. They just make this money out of thin air. So when you're thinking the economy is doing well and everyone's traveling and they're buying houses, but then you get an event like this where you get a slowdown. People stop working. People get into too much debt. They can't pay their mortgage. They can't pay for their car loans. So they begin to default. And now the bank starts taking losses on all this money. Or what happens is, guess what? All of this funny money that they created out of thin air, all of these people show up, right? And they want their money back. But there's only really $100. So when all of these people go here, they can't pay them back. They don't have the money. And this is what happened in 2008. This is why when Paulson went to Congress and he sat down and he told them, If you don't give me unlimited money, you're going to see a crash like you've never seen before. So, a lot of you got to start wrapping your mind around this. I don't say this to scare you. I say this to inform you so you can understand that there's serious things going on here. This is not something that you should just be taking lightly, right? And exactly like DC said, house of cards. And then you have to understand, because pension funds, especially public pensions, are so severely underfunded, because they promise people with the defined contributions, defined benefit plans, not the defined benefit pension plans, where they basically guaranteed you that you will be taken care of in your retirement. They have to invest in risky things. So these banks create products based upon you paying your mortgage, known as a mortgage-backed security. That's a derivative. And then they make CDOs and CDO squares, and they make synthetic derivatives. That's just simply saying, because they know you're going to pay your mortgage every month, they then package that up and sell it to investors like pension funds, so that they can make, when you pay that interest on your mortgage, that's going towards the pension fund. Well, guess what happens? If banks have to write down loans, if property values start losing value, or you stop paying your mortgage, they can't make that payment to the pension fund. And they've done levered that up, that asset times 10. They don't put so much leverage behind it that now they can't afford to take a 5%, 10% hit on that. That will destroy the banking system. So it's important that you educate yourself about this stuff and really know, what the hell is going on and why you're investing in certain things and why you're positioning yourself certain ways. Now, if you're poor, forget all this stuff, right? Like right now, if you're poor, or you're a working class person and you're like, listen, man, I don't have time for none of this stuff. Then you know what you should be doing. Making sure you have food, clothing, and shelter. That's it. Right? Making sure you have food, clothing, and shelter. Again, know where you are, know who you are, know what you're trying to do. Right? I'm an investor. I'm a trader. I manage money. I do stuff like that. So I need to position myself this way. I need to have insurance. I need to have a hedge. I need to do these things. If you're an everyday American, this stuff doesn't matter. What matters is protecting you and your family. What matters is making sure that you're healthy. Those things matter. Those are the things that matter. Those are the things that are important to you. You have to find out, again, like I said, what matters to you. Cryptocurrency may not be for you. Crypto's not for everyone. Gold and silver is not for everyone, right? None of us truly knows what the future is going to hold. What we do know is that this country has a history of boom and busts. What we do know is this country has a history of bailing out banks. What we do know is the banks have a history of putting this country into bad positions, because big government and big business works hand in hand. So you have to educate yourselves. You gotta educate yourself and find out what you need and what you don't need, right? Eat the meat, spit out the bones. Everything is not for everyone. And that goes back to the whole Polight thing. You gotta find what you need and what you don't need, and who you need and who you don't need, right? My information may not be good enough for you. So you have to think about that. Onyx Palm says, but he's also saying is that even when you keep your money out of the banks, it's still fiat and can be rendered worthless. Thus the need for crypto, gold, and silver. Exactly. And that goes back to this video, like I said before, when Shamath makes this comment and he talks about, here you go right here, being over leveraged and having 1%. There's so much leverage in the system. Do you understand that people don't even buy cell phones outright? People go into debt to buy a cell phone. When you do that AT&T Next plan, that's debt. Everything in our economy is based off leverage. People don't go buy cars outright. They finance them. They finance their home. They use their credit cards. They go out to eat. That's finance. You go to school. That's financing, right? Everything's about debt, extending payments out to the future, locking you into debt, all of this stuff. May I assume Nike and Adidas are part of the contaminated products sent here, since they both manufacture out of mainland China? Absolutely, Noble TX. Absolutely. And again, now what does that do to the supply chain? What does that do to the bottom line of Nike? What if there's some contaminated goods already here in the United States? What if there are some people who are already sick with the coronavirus, but they think it's the flu? What if the people who went to the doctor, right, and the doctor said, oh, you only have flu, and gave them some type of, shot or gave them some type of medicine, but they really have the corona? See, well, you have to start asking yourself that. Are there goods and services that are contaminated with the coronavirus on it? These are things that you have to begin to really start thinking about. Can you trust China? This is a communist country. We just got out of a trade war with them. What are the ramifications of this? Like, you got to really start weighing things and balancing things and seeing, what can happen and where could this take us and where can this lead us? And this is why Bill Gates said that he's not afraid of nuclear war. He's not afraid of a world war. He's not even afraid of the debt. He's afraid of a global pandemic because our globalization has made us so dependent upon one another. There's really no independence in the system. Yes, Omega Sun, like 1000% is what I've been saying. That's the best way to sum it up. I constantly tell you guys, money isn't backed by the military. It's not backed by the government. It's backed by debt because it keeps you on the hamster wheel of working for dollars because your debt is denominated in dollars, which makes debt as money. As I said earlier, there's $1.6 trillion of physical cash in the banking system, but there's over $74 trillion worth of debt. There's more debt in the system than there's actual physical dollars. So you have to constantly keep working for dollars. That's what gives it value. The fact that you need it to live. You need it to pay your bills. You need it to live. So, guys, and as I said before, so I'm playing with the algorithm, and that's why I use Polight's name too to get more people into this because a lot of you guys need that information. You know what I'm saying? Elijah Muhammad been talking about the death of America though for a very long time in the book Message to the Black Man. That was one of the books my dad gave me to read a very, very, very long time ago. He talked about gold and the gold standard. This is information that's been out here for a very long time. The problem is many of our people, we like drama and we want to sit around and we want to joke about Umar all day and Polight and Hassan Campbell, and those things are funny. Don't get it twisted, guys. I like to participate in the jokes and stuff too, but there's a time to joke and there's a time to get serious, and we are in some interesting times, to say the least. And I think that if you're prepared, you don't have to worry about failing. But if you fail to prepare, you damn sure will fail. Omega Sunlight, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. So, and again, guys, as I said to you before, this is why I got the, remember I put up the post and I was asking you about the, my iPad, because I wanted to get a, a dry erase board. And I asked you guys, like, do you prefer the iPad or the dry erase board? Because this is the type of stuff that I want to do. Like, I want to be able to pull up my iPad and do these illustrations rather than just talking to you all day. I can actually take the time out and show you this type of stuff and really educate you guys about things that are going on. So it's important that you take the time out to educate yourself. And this is what I'm going to be doing. I purchased some animation software for the iPad. So I plan on really like doing tutorials like this, like really talking to you about how the Fed works. Where does money come from? How is money created? And I know some of you may get tired of hearing this because some of you know this, but you have to think about this. 95% of the people walking around, they don't know about this. They don't know where money comes from. They don't know why money is valuable. They don't know about the debt. They're living their days every day. So possibly he could have gotten from Marcus Garvey. Possibly. I just know that this information tends to stay in certain groups, mainly people who are into, libertarianism, people who are into Austrian economics and like business people. But like everyday Americans don't really know this, like where credit comes from and, debt, and why are we in so much debt and why can't we pay off the debt? And why does stuff cost more every year? Why does the cost of education keep going up? Why does the cost of healthcare and housing keep going up? Like a lot of people don't know this because think about it. If you got kids and you're working every day and you're trying to take care of your family, You don't got time to spend reading for 3 hours. You don't have time to spend, sitting down and like that book, The Creature from Jekyll Island, right? This is my second time. Reading the book. My mentor first gave me the book. You put me onto a lot of new things, crypto, stocks, etc. Keep delivering the knowledge. Thank you, humble Kurt. That book is over 1,000 pages, guys. You know how big that book is, The Creature from Jekyll Island? That's a big book. Most people who are taking care of their family, who are working 8-10 hour shifts and they got a wife, they don't have time to sit down and read all of that stuff, man. They just don't. And then going to the New York Fed website and looking at CNBC all day long. I do this for a living, right? So I get paid to do this. But as you can see, I want to transition. I like teaching. I like doing this on YouTube. So like when you guys donate and support this content, you free me up to be able to do the research for you and be able to present it to you. So you don't have to sit there and read 1,000 pages. I can condense it to a 1 hour video. So while you're driving to work, you can just replay the video. So that's the next book that I'm about to read. None dare call it a conspiracy. It's funny you said that, Omega Sunlight, because I just literally purchased the book. They didn't have it in the iBook store, right? In the iBooks store. So I had to order the book online, and it's actually on its way to me right now as you say that. So, and again, guys, like I said before, I'm going to take a lot of time and be putting this stuff together. And it's important that you support the content, even if you can't financially donate. Like it, share it, get this information out there. Go research some of this stuff yourself. Go start a channel. We have to get this information out there because we don't have a lot of time left. And I don't want to be a negative person. Forget the coronavirus. I'm just talking about debt wise. Like, if Bernie or one of these people come into office, man, all of this free stuff is not free. It's going to cost you money through inflation. And we'll rock with you, brother. Just don't turn into boys. So Charles, well, guys, I would never do no stuff like that. I'm not into marketing and selling products and stuff like that. As I said before, I was going to create a membership site and it was going to be something cheap, like $10, $20 a month. I'm not going to be, you're never going to see me sell and take this to the bank. And you can take my words, chop them up, do it. You will never see me on here selling no $1,000 products. Number one, I know about the racial wealth gap. I know about the data. I know that black people don't have that kind of money. And I also know that no information should cost that type. The only reason why you should be spending that kind of money is because you're already rich. People who are poor or middle class, or borderline middle class, they shouldn't be spending $1,000 for products. Look at me, Kevin. Right? When you go there, he's not selling. He has one product right here, DIY property management for $997. All his other products are $487, $325, $397. Should never be charging that kind of money. Boys can't teach you how to be a millionaire because allegedly, I don't know this to be a fact. So let me say this clearly, because Boyce is not a millionaire. So how can he teach you how to be a millionaire? Like that type of stuff doesn't even make sense. Like teaching you how to be rich, that's clickbaity to me, and you'll never see me do that. You'll never see me, like when I speak, you never hear me on here talking about getting rich. I talk about building wealth over time. I'm not talking about you're going to buy some penny stock and you're going to become a millionaire. I'm not telling you that you're going to buy some scam cryptocurrency that has less than $1,000 in volume, or you're going to invest in BitConnect and you're going to get rich. You'll never hear me say that because I know that that's not true, because I know I didn't become successful that way. It took me years of grinding to get to where I am, and I bust my ass to get here. And I would never sell that to you. So, oh yeah, again, I always, guys, I have to get used to that. Yeah, meet Kevin. You can see his products here, right? His highest product is $997, and he's proven that his products are good. So I'm not really good with fixing credit. I would be lying to you because I'm not like an expert in that, but I can definitely refer you to people who could do that for you or give you some good free information, right? Free information. Thank you, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Israel. Appreciate it. So, and this is why it's important, guys. My Instagram page is in the description. That's why I said to you guys, DM me, message me on Instagram. That way you can communicate with me, and I can point you to sources, credible people who can teach you about real estate if that's what you want to really learn about, help you fix your credit. Now, they're not going to help you for free, but they can give you free resources so you can be informed, right? No one's going to do anything for you for free. You can forget about that, right? Like, no one's ever going to work for you for free. Information costs money and things cost time, right? But information should be affordable. It should not be $3,500 for no mentorship or $100,000 for no mentorship. No, that's garbage. I can point you to resources so you can get a basic understanding. And then once you have the basics, then you go buy a product. It's like, buying a car, right? You test drive the car first before you buy it. You don't just walk into the dealership and say, hey, I need a car. They take you on a test drive and you get to play around with the car. Well, that's how it should be about products and services. Before you buy a product from me, Kevin, you can go here to his YouTube channel and look at the quality of his YouTube videos. So if this man is making quality YouTube videos, it's safe to say, his product is going to be quality. When I look at Brother Polight or Umar Johnson, these Negroes are sitting in their car and sitting in the street or in the park and they're trying to teach you, or sitting in some corner in their room. How can you teach a person? How can you teach a person when you're just yelling at your phone? You understand what I'm trying to say? Like, if I'm trying to learn, I want to see the quality of your free stuff. Because Meet Kevin gives away game for free. So if he's giving away free information like this, the stuff you're going to pay for is going to be worth some money. It's worth the money you're paying because the quality is there, and that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Like I want you to sit down and I want you to show me something, right? Like, again, I plan on pulling up some, documentations from the actual Federal Reserve banks and documenting and proving the things that I say. I'm probably going to do a live stream about that later on this week. So you can see that I'm not just making up this fractional reserve banking thing. I'm going to show you with the Fed's own words. They basically print money out of thin air. The Federal Reserve isn't federal and they don't have any reserves. And that's just a fact. Like Ross says, run them donations. Run them donations. So I can fix the school. I can start the school for the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. But with that being said, guys, I ran my mouth enough. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll probably do another live stream tomorrow. If the market decides to sell off. So please like the video, share the video. If you want to contact me, please follow me on Instagram. That way you can message me. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. And also join my mailing list. My mailing list is in the description. This way I can actually email you when I'm going live, when I get videos, and we don't have to depend on YouTube. So again, I'll see you guys probably tomorrow night. We're probably going to start doing this on an everyday thing, just having a show at this time. So I'm still debating about that. But again, guys, I'll talk to you guys in the DM, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a blessed and beautiful night. And thank you for everyone who donated. I greatly appreciate it.